All right, everybody, we are live. I'm going to go ahead and unmute our lovely co-hosts today. Welcome back, Justin, and of course, big shout out to the man who made this all extremely possible, which would be moviedude18. Corey,
Sleep.
what is going
Hi.
on? So, I guess we'll start out by talking about the event, right? And Corey, I'll let you kind of go into detail about that because everything that we had planned this strategy on how we were going to do everything, and we were going to try to get this all live, and then everything kind of backfired on us literally when we arrived, right?
I feel like it backfired in the best way that it could.
Yeah.
We knew that Chris Casamassa, who plays obviously Scorpion in the first film, as well as in Conquest the series, he was kind of throwing this business combat thing where he's kind of like a Tony Stark of the Mortal Kombat world. Not only does he look like Robert Downey Jr., but like he was basically doing this kind of seminar event to kind of talk investors into. I don't think even you, Ryan, are quite sure what exactly it was. But the point is that he asked me to come and bring a friend, and then I asked him and I said, look, these Mortal Kombat Online guys, there's Justin and Ryan. I've gotten to know them. I'd be you too. And they've been great friends, just talking Mortal Kombat, shooting the stuff, and I said, what if we did like a live thing? And obviously, one thing led to another. As Ryan can testify, we got there and the cell service didn't even work.
Nope.
It was just all around.
Neither did the Wi-Fi, right?
Right.
No, the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi was first. I came running in like, what's the Wi-Fi password? What's the Wi-Fi password? And unfortunately, I believe the hotel didn't have a Wi-Fi password. Meaning anyone and everyone who's there at the bar, at the lounge, at everything else, I just don't think their servers can handle much of anything. And I could barely get it to work on my phone. And if that was the case, I decided, and Ryan decided, and we called Justin, and we're like, let's just film the crap out of this thing. And
well, I gotta say that despite all the technological hurdles that were there, the interviews themselves, huge success. Huge success. I mean, you guys did great. The answers that the actors gave you were phenomenal. I think there's some never before revealed information here.
There's a lot.
And a lot of that is going to be made available on tonight's stream. We, of course, are going to release the interviews in full on our YouTube channel within the next couple days. So we're going to show you guys some highlights for tonight.
Right.
Yeah, and I...
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, just as an introduction to me, guys, is like, I don't exactly come from knowing everything about the games, but I worship that original trilogy like no one else. It's to be rivaled to even Justin. But that where I really come into this kind of stream, this one time only, is that I've known these actors, and Justin has, Tabmonk99 has flown out to Los Angeles where I live. And I've worked with Robin and Linden and Paul Anderson and Chris multiple times, some of them 6 or 7 times. And there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to add that's not on video that was kind of mentioned and said, and stuff that I feel comfortable that they would be okay with saying. But that, a lot of you guys, like Ryan's very close to Daniel Pacina in the gaming world of it, but I'm really close to Linden and especially Robin Shou. So that's where I kind of fit in with this special episode of this thing today, if that makes sense.
And I got it. Just to build off of that, moviedude18, your events have been phenomenal. When you were doing them, the ones that I saw, they were at the TCL, the Chinese Theater in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You had the Mortal Kombat movie, then you had the Mortal Kombat Annihilation movie, and you got actors to show up from the films. It was just amazing what you put together. I was honored to be a part of that, and we got to know each other since then. I met you through these events, and now look, you use your connections, and these guys agreed to come on Mortal Kombat Online's stream. Of course, the stream part didn't work, but aside,
the thing is that they were all about doing it. They were doing it live, but when we got there, we just all realized together
live wasn't. There's a better way to do it.
Have to be
you know what? And that didn't stop you. That didn't deter you at all. And instead, you guys got amazing stuff. I really love it. Like I said, huge success what you guys got. And let's go ahead and start. I think we started out by talking about Chris Casamassa. it was really his event, right? The business combat thing. He's run his own studio, Red Dragon Karate Studios, for, gosh, 20, 30 years. And now he's basically taking the success strategies from his studio and teaching them to other martial artists, other martial arts studios. So he's taking the Red Dragon Karate formula and sharing it with outsiders. And that was sort of the purpose of his event, was to get other martial arts studios interested. And that was really kind of him to offer Mortal Kombat Online a chance to interview him while he and all these other Mortal Kombat actors were there in one spot together. So it was a great opportunity.
And Larry Kasanoff.
Yes, that was so great that he showed up as well.
Giant curveball.
That was a surprise. I'm so happy that he managed to show up. So I guess let's start with Chris Casamassa. Fatal Cade.
Yes.
I think we have a title card presented just for Chris Casamassa, right? We're going to have him for everybody. But let's see if we can pull that up first as we get the first clip ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me just a second here to get that rolling here, because we're flying by the seat of our pants. Let's see. I got to take the static off this guy. But the PowerPoint, yes, here we go. There we go. So there we go. We got the title up, Chris Casamassa. And it was awesome. So do you guys want me to go ahead and hit the interview now?
Yeah, let's go ahead and run that first clip.
All right. And let me just make sure everything is good and set. Here.
I believe it's about how he auditioned and everything else, right?
Yeah, it's really good stuff. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get ready and play that for you guys.
So here's a cool story. Yeah. When I got the role of Scorpion, it had already been cast. Mm-hmm. So when I first, because I hadn't done really anything big at that point, so I just heard that there were auditions for Mortal Kombat, and I was a fan of the game. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And we went there, and they said, oh, we're auditioning for background fighters. So you remember the scenes where we stand around for Goro? Yeah. That's what I originally went out to audition for. I thought, wow, it'd be cool to be in this, big Hollywood film. I'd only done smaller films up to that point, and I just really, and I tell people this all the time, I was in the right place at the right time. I had practiced my whole life for something like this, so the skill that I had developed over time really helped to open that door. Because when we went, they said, listen, all the roles are cast, we're just looking for background fighters, and they set it up kind of like a little tournament where they had, like, we're sitting in chairs. They had 3 people in chairs, and they said, just come up and show us your stuff. And so I went up, and I had competed for years on the national circuit, the pro tour, so I said, well, I'm just going to do something just for fun. They were sitting in chairs only 3.5 feet high. I knew I could clear that, so I just ran at them and jumped over them. And I watched their heads go up and over, and then I dove and kind of flipped back over them and did my thing, and then finished it. I go, okay, thank you. I get a call the next day, hey, we want you to come back.
Oh, nice.
And I thought, what the heck, why are you calling me to come back? Like, it's just for background fighter. Right. And so they had us do some other stuff with weapons. And the first day I was there was like 100 people. And I went back and there was like 50. I got a call the next day, we want you to come back again. And I'm like, man, it's hard to get into a big budget film. Like, I didn't realize it was that difficult. And then the third time that we came back, I love telling the story, there was just 3 of us. It was me and 2 other guys. And the director walked over and said, hey, you guys mind taking off your shirt? And I'm kind of a smart ass, and it gets me in trouble sometimes. So I looked at him and I said, well, if it'll get me the part, I'll come back to your trailer too. Right? Which, see, everybody laughs when I tell the story. That's hilarious. Deadpan. Yeah. Deadpan. Right? His fit, and I go, oh my god! I'm like, this dude's gonna kill me. Yeah. And so we did it. And they had the cameras there, and they were filming us. And I was really in great shape. And I looked at the guy on the left of me. He had a little bit of a pot belly. Looked at the guy on the right, and I'm like, just trying to flex. Yeah. So they went into this like football huddle. Yeah. And I didn't know who it was, but at the time I found out it was Larry. It was the director, Paul Anderson. It was the camera operator. And they went into this football huddle. Came over, and Paul Anderson shakes my hand. And he goes, welcome to Mortal Kombat, you're going to be Scorpion. Oh! And up to that point, like, I had no idea. And so I was like, thank you. And then it took me the time I walked to the door to realize, hey, that just happened. Yeah. I had this ear-to-ear grin on my face. I called my mom, and I'm like, I'm going to be in Mortal Kombat. And she goes, that's awesome, honey. What's Mortal Kombat? Yeah. You're like, it's like, it's an awesome video game.
So that was a really fun interview with Chris. I'm going to turn you guys back up here. But that's a really fun story about auditioning, man. Like, I love how he just had no clue. He was going in for this major role. You know, he was just wanted to be a background guy. Then before he knows it, he gets the role of Scorpion, and bam! I mean, that's just such a feel-good story. You know, it's kind of this underdog story of how he went in and then got this major, you know, role for Scorpion, which is, you know, awesome.
Well, it's funny, too, because it sounded like the role of Scorpion had already been cast. It had already been given to somebody.
Yeah.
And then they just decided, you know what? Forget that guy. Let's give it to Chris.
Yeah, Chris is just, yeah, he's awesome. So, I mean, to me, Chris is always going to be like the movie Scorpion. Anything that's like in the movies or film, like Chris has got to be it. And I think J.J. Perry did okay in the Annihilation, but man, it would have been great to see Chris have that role, in my opinion.
I even think Ian Anthony Dale did pretty good in Legacy. You know?
Ian Anthony Dale did good, but there's just something about what Chris brings. Like, you know, he was actually like a scary Scorpion in the first movie, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he was very intimidating.
Yeah.
You know?
I like the fact that he's the only actor that admitted loving the game before actually taking on a character in the movie.
Yeah,
Out of even Robin and Linden, they make it pretty clear they didn't play the game or know about it. So Chris has that.
Actually into the games.
Yeah. So was Paul Anderson, the director. So
and Larry Kasanoff.
Oh yeah.
No, he it was the game that caught his attention that said, I got to make a movie out of this. And that's actually something that we'll kind of get to a little later.
Yeah, but man, that was cool.
The answer to Shinnok's question is yes.
Yeah, that's right. I just read about that in an issue of Kung Fu magazine. Yeah, J.J. Perry did stunt doubles for Linden Ashby.
Oh, and here, for the longest time, I thought it was the actor who played Tomas in the Conquest.
You'd be forgiven for thinking so.
Because they, you know, I mean, like, you could see some of the fights, and I guess they kind of look similar. But yeah, no, that's awesome. That's really cool news. I did not know that. The more you know.
But yeah, so then Chris ended up getting punched on set, right? Like, even I didn't know the story.
Yeah, this was, we didn't find out about this story until we arrived, and Chris was introducing everybody, and it was just kind of a funny little story. So it's also good to point out, guys, that these guys are such a big family. Yeah.
You can put Larry Kasanoff out of that equation, but when it comes to Chris and Linden and Paul Anderson, even Talicia a little bit, you know, these guys all get together and grab beers and probably Monster Energy drinks, like, you know, regularly, like weekly or monthly, and you know, it seems like the combat community within the actors is overall pretty you know, the Earth realm is at peace with them, so that's pretty cool. And that's why they're so energetic about answering all the questions you're going to see today. So
yeah, it was great. And that story about Linden, we've got a clip of that if you guys want to play it.
Yeah, please.
All right, let's go. Let's get to it.
We were talking earlier when you announced everybody in Linden. You said there was a scene where he actually punched you accidentally on set.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that as much as you remember? That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, it was past rehearsal, so we were actually filming.
Right.
And it's the part where we're kind of trading blows back and forth, and he just got too close and punched me right in the forehead. And then I'm used to being hit as a martial artist, so I just kept going with it. But, you know, it freaked him out a little bit as an actor, and of course he was concerned about my safety. He said, "No, just keep going." You know? So, yeah, he's, you know, it was an accident.
But those are interesting stories, because I know Harrison Ford was on talking about how Ryan Gosling, he accidentally punched him on set.
Oh yeah,
that kind of thing. I mean, it does happen.
It happens,
in fight scenes, which is crazy. I mean, but it's a hand-to-hand, a lot of martial arts going on, and at a very fast pace. So it's things like that are going to happen. Now, is that the worst injury you ever had on set?
Really, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. That you know, that's the only injury, thank God, that he suffered on set. And you know, with a movie like Mortal Kombat and some of these fight scenes, especially because I think they were on a scaffolding, right, Corey, when they were doing that. Like, that's great news. That's the worst injury that he got. Because I mean,
I think they got lucky, because if you see what they do in the game, if you see the kinds of things that the characters are capable of doing, I think doing the split punch, that would be what gets me, being on either end of that.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
I feel like it's a two-way streak of hurt.
Yeah, I
right?
mean, and even for the games, when they make the games, I know the motion capture actors, God bless them from the games. I mean, they go through stuff and they get hurt all the time. Like, maybe not all the time, but you know what I mean? Like, they really put themselves at risk. Like, they really
I think
risk
people
life and limb.
got more serious injuries designing the first game, you know, before they finalized it and figured out a good workflow. I think they suffered some pretty bad injuries before they got it figured out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to bring the games and the movies to life, these guys went through a lot. So that was a fun story, though, to hear about. You know, they were doing the close-ups and Linden just kind of got too close and popped him on accident. This is just...
Well, you know, people think that being a movie star is just so glitzy and glamorous, and you know, it's great to be part of the 1%. And they don't always remember how hard these guys actually push themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows that with athletes, and they risk getting concussions and torn ACLs and things like that. But they forget that making movies is also pretty rough at times.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be crazy, you know, as we found out from everybody else. Like, you'll see more of these interviews and you'll just realize how much these guys really had to do. Like, it wasn't all just like fun and games for them. They really had to.
Well, I mean, to be fair, even these guys, which I think, you know, we did like a little list of numbers of clips that will go in order, but like the thing is you know, even Robin Shou has a stunt double for specific stunts, and like so Tony Jaa comes in, but I mean, the boundaries that these guys are pushed. They're in a foreign country. They're in Thailand for most of the first film.
Surrounded by people who probably want to kick their ass.
Yeah, or boss them around like Larry. But yeah, no, it's crazy, and that's the thing. I mean, there's several clips that will show that talk about production being pushed back and production issues on set and post production. But I think, you know, Chris talked a little bit about like how the demonstration. Which, Ryan, when you talked to him that the Scorpion scene had to get cut, they couldn't even film it.
Great. When
Sub-Zero freezes the guy and his head falls off, and they had to cut Scorpions for time.
Yes, I believe.
Right, so everybody knows the scene we're talking about, I think, where Shang Tsung says, "And now for a taste of things to come."
Yes,
and Sub-Zero just
basically freezes
that guy, shatters him. You can see his guts and everything. It's disgusting.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This is why this is.
It was never shot, though.
Yeah,
never shot.
And this is why it's good, because there's a lot of people out there that have said that it was shot and cut, and then there's people that said it was never shot, and then there's people who said that it never existed. So this is gonna put all of those things to rest, because if anybody knows, it's Chris. He's Scorpion in the movie.
You ask the guy who puts on the Scorpion suit, well, were you shot, or was this planned, or what's the deal? We finally got to the bottom of it once and for all. So why don't you go ahead and play that for us?
Yeah. So ready to get to the clip? Are we good?
Yeah, let's play it.
All right, let's do it.
I believe that was mentioned somewhere. It might have been by Paul. I can't remember who exactly mentioned it, but somewhere in the script, I don't know, was it ever filmed, where they had Sub-Zero do the demonstration with the bodyguard and like freeze him and shatter him in the movie? Wasn't there supposed to be a demonstration where Scorpion did something like that as well?
100%.
Yeah. Do you know what that was supposed to be? Or?
No, because we never shot it. We were running a little late with it, and so they didn't shoot it. But it was in the original script. Both of us did some stuff there.
Yeah, it would have been really neat to see, I think. But yeah, it's awesome, man. And they talked about.
So yeah, I mean, there you go. It was never shot, and Chris doesn't even really know much about what it was. I mean, maybe if anybody can get that script.
It's more of a question for Paul.
Yeah.
It's in the script. It's in the original script, I believe. Right, Justin?
It's possible. I've heard rumors about. You see, I have one version of the script, and you've got another version of the script.
I've got another version. I mean, the only big differences between the script is that, obviously, which we'll talk about later, is most people maybe don't know that after a test screening of the first movie, the Johnny Cage and Reptile as a character himself were added. Johnny Cage fight was completely shot. They didn't really fight in the original version, but we'll get to that with Linden. And I have Annihilation in the background, and man, this animality. Man, we got to talk about this animality later, man.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, no. There. I really don't think. When I asked every single person this over the years of knowing them. In the first movie, at least, there doesn't seem to be anything that was shot that wasn't used. So that's something we can lay at rest. that there wasn't Katana making out with Liu Kang like in the script. That was cut before filming. But I really do believe Paul, especially Paul, when he says there's really nothing except for some one-liners like, you can't run from me, Shang. I don't need to run. Those little lines got cut out. But Larry, Paul, they all pretty much confirmed everything that was shot is what you see in the movie.
I want to give a shout out here to Revenant Ryu Kang. He just chimed in with he's read the original script as well as the movie's novelization, and he confirmed that the way the story was originally envisioned, there was a scene where Scorpion had his own demonstration, which makes sense. It just makes sense that as Sub-Zero's killing one guy, Scorpion's killing the other guy, and that's like your chance to show off the two ninjas in an equal capacity. That would have made a lot more sense, and I wish that they had had enough time to do it the way they wanted to, because, that would have been cool. That would have been really cool.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. But it was great to finally put that rumor pretty much to rest with that one.
But there is something to it, too, which is nice so that people know.
Right.
There was the idea, it was there. They just never actually got a chance to film it,
Mm-hmm. And speaking of things that were never filmed...
third movie!
A third movie. And we got... Now, Corey, this is hilarious. Because we're in the same room with all these guys, right? And every single person we interviewed
tells a
literally
different story.
Gave us a different freaking answer. Every single time.
Well, Linden and Robin were pretty much on the same page that it was never really coming to fruition. I'm sorry to break fan spirits, but...
Yeah.
Ryan and Justin might disagree with me, but I do believe that there was a script up to Devastation. I do believe at some point some of the actors saw it, but knowing Robin, and when you see the interview with him, it's a 30-minute thing you'll put online after this. But I really believe that it never really got to the point of seriousness or serious business. I think it was a dreamboat project for Larry. But I really, Chris's answer was a little bit kind of upsetting to find out that he would just not even say anything about it. But I mean, that's what you have to show. So.
I did push him.
You pushed him. You pushed him.
Hey, look, all you can do is broach the subject, and in fact, he let slip a little bit more than he meant to.
Yeah, he kind of did.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Like, especially when you said, oh, gee, I don't know if there was a script, and whoops, he accidentally... Well, let's go ahead and play the clip. I can't say any more about it that'll do it justice.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
And they talked about the third movie that never was set to be, Devastation, I think it was called, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, were you going to be in that too?
100%.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear as a fan, because I loved you in the movie.
Thank you.
A great Scorpion.
Thank you.
So you were going to do you know anything at all about Devastation, the script, or what it was supposed to be?
I know everything about it.
Okay.
But there's nothing I can tell you guys. Sorry.
Oh.
I can't. Yeah, it's all I can say is it was a great script. There had been a ton of action, and a whole lot of stuff was going down. But
That's awesome.
it may not be.
So there you go, right there. Great script, ton of action, a lot of stuff going down. That's what we got.
I do want to talk more about it as well.
That means there's twice as many fights as Annihilation.
It's gonna be the Mortal Kombat trilogy, literally.
It's Armageddon, Oh God.
Mortal Kombat kitchen sink is what they were gonna call it.
Yeah, everything but the kitchen sink.
Exactly.
Silver Ring is asking if Devastation script was the same one that Drew McWeeny was commissioned to write in 2001. And I believe that is correct.
I believe that's true as well.
Yes.
To my knowledge of knowing Robin.
We should probably try to get Drew on the show at some point. That would be cool. He'd make a great guest. But yeah, I would like to pick his brain a little bit. There was also a book that mentions the MK3 movie script as well. And that is something that we're going to get into one day on this stream. That is something that we're going to get to one of these days.
Yeah, we need to.
Yeah.
But I mean, as a thing to engage the fans as we talk, what would you have wanted the third movie to be? What characters do you feel like they should have focused on in another movie? Hypothetically, I'm just curious. Not a reboot, but if we got Robin and Linden and all them back, who would you want to see and actually have development? Okay,
so you remember You remember that there was supposed to be a deleted scene with Quan Chi and Shinnok at the end of
let's
Annihilation.
save that for later. Let's save that because that's
I would
a whole
open up a third movie with a scene like that. Maybe either that scene or reshot it, something like that. Shinnok got punished at the end of Annihilation. What's his next move? He gets sent to the Netherrealm. He is now in charge, and maybe it's revealed that he's been secretly in charge this whole time. Maybe his getting banished by the Elder Gods was actually part of his master plan. That's what I would want. Shinnok's invasion, and of course, Kitana, she's back in Edenia. She thinks everything's good when it turns out that her buddy, Tanya, is a traitor. So I think that it would set right up for an MK4 plot where you've got Shinnok's invasion, you've got Quan Chi at his side, and it turns out that he and Quan Chi have been in cahoots this whole time. You've got Rico, who, I don't know, maybe it turns out that he's Shao Kahn.
Rico?
I think you have to have Rico. If
Can
you're
of
making an
worms.
MK4
Let's just make the movie focus on Kai at that point.
Yeah, Pandora's
Oh yeah,
box.
he should be in there. He should be in there for sure.
Oh gosh, you know what? While we're at it, let's add Su Hao. Why not?
Oh.
I told you
I don't
about that.
think-
I told you about that. Look at Justin's reaction. He's like,
I think it's
Deadly
well,
Alliance wasn't a
great.
thing yet. Deadly Alliance
No,
wasn't.
I think that I think it would be cool, and I think the original idea was to bring back Johnny Cage with the amulet, Quan Chi, and I would have liked to have seen Johnny Cage resurrected and be evil, actually.
yes, for a little
Yeah.
bit, for like half the movie. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what else? You know what else I would like to see? Speaking of Kai, I would actually like to see a scene where Liu Kang visits his temple once again, who says, "Last time I tried to do it
You
on
mean
my
the
own."
one that they destroyed at the end of the first movie, but is somehow glued back together at the beginning of Annihilation?
Yes, I want him
true.
to go back.
That's
I want him to go back there since it's glued together. Maybe he talks to his grandfather and he says, "I need help. Last time I'm the chosen one, so I did it myself. But I have friends here and I need their help now to fight this greatest evil." And then he sees his buddy Kung Lao, and they're about to embrace. They're about to go up to each other. He's like, "Oh yes, my buddy!" And he goes right past Kung Lao and he goes, "Kai, you're so awesome. You've got to come with me." And Kung Lao is just sitting there
All right. All right. Now this is kind of unfamiliar territory for me, but the next clip that's coming up, I specifically wanted Ryan, or I'm just gonna have to call you by your names. I'm sorry.
that's fine.
Okay. So there's a comment that's made by Chris in Chris's final clip
Yeah.
about how they're very focused on the DC world, and you guys are the big gamers of this thing. You know, don't hate me, fans. I play all the games when they come out, but I kind of put them down after that. But
you're a movie dude. You're a
it's-
movie dude.
I'm a movie dude, you know. But the thing is he makes kind of an interesting remark about this whole. And obviously, there's an 11th Mortal Kombat game. No one really seems to know what's going on. So, switching from the movie, coming from one of the actors, play that clip about how Warner Brothers is very focused on DC. And I'm wondering what you guys think about the possibility of another DC mashup for the next game. And, you know, now they own the properties to the movie and the game.
Right. So let's get to the clip.
They're actually working on another Mortal Kombat movie with James Wan. Would you ever show interest in doing something like that?
Absolutely, 100%. I love the franchise. If I got a chance to even double the guy who's they're doing a new Scorpion,
Yeah.
which they shouldn't. It should be me. I'm just saying. I'm watching. I can still kick ass to this day.
There you go.
But yeah, I would be happy to do it. And you know,
Well, the fans would love to see you come back. I'd love to see you come back as Scorpion. I mean, you're perfect for it. You've already been in the shoes. I feel like you'd be very comfortable in the role. I think fans would love to see you back.
Thank you.
James, if you're watching this, cast him. Make it happen. Awesome, man. Would you ever consider doing anything with the video game? If they called you to like, hey, will you voice act?
that actually would be really cool. You know, I got to do some stuff when they made Mortal Kombat into an animated series, so I got to do some mocap, some motion capture for that,
Yeah.
which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so dear to me is like I've been through, the first movie, the the TV show or the animated series.
So it makes sense to do
Yeah.
something with you in the game, right? Like maybe, like have you come in and maybe voice act Scorpion or something. I mean,
Maybe.
that would work.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it happen. You know, it would be
Thank
great
you.
just to have you back in the franchise. Do you have any immediate plans to do anything again with Mortal Kombat that's planned, or?
You know, the deal with Mortal Kombat right now is it's owned by Warner Brothers, and they're really focusing, I think, a lot on. I mean, I don't know, but I'm assuming their DC franchise stuff is really big right now. So that the project for Mortal Kombat 3 has been in limbo for quite some time. I'm hearing that it's moving forward. At this point, I don't have anything to do with it, but I would love to. I'd love that opportunity. It would be great. But we are working on other projects. Larry Kasanoff and I have some stuff in the works that, again, I can't say anything about, but we're signing some big name stuff, and basically it's an action-adventure sci-fi thing that's pretty awesome.
I'm excited to see it.
Pretty awesome.
So there you have it. Chris is down to voice act. So Ed Boon, if you're watching this or you see this clip, I think Chris should, if you do like an alternate like DLC costume for the movie version, like fans would pay for that. Like that's awesome. And then have Chris like be the voice of it. Kind of like they did with the Carl Weathers Jax. But like this would make so much more sense to have the movie version of Scorpion in there, and it would look cool. And then you get the guy who was him, like, you know what I mean? Like, model it after Chris, and then have Chris do the voice acting. Like, I think Chris, I mean, you clearly saw him. He's totally down for that. I think that would be awesome, you know?
Yeah, I think that would really be cool, especially because you kind of figured out a way to do it where Ed Boon isn't kicking himself out of a job. You know what I mean?
Right. I agree. And the next person we had an interview with was, I believe, Keith Cooke.
Wait a minute. Before we move on to the next person, shouldn't we maybe do some sort of a prize?
Giveaway!
Giveaway. Oh yeah, you know what? I forgot about that, guys. So we've got what? See here, we got 1, 2, 3. We got 3 of these all signed.
Look at this.
They're all
Hold it
signed.
closer.
Yeah.
What even
Look,
is
get
this?
Linden. Get Linden in there. Oh yeah, look at Linden.
Yeah, so we got Keith Cooke,
Look at
Linden
that.
Ashby, we got Robin Shou's signature, Chris Casamassa's signature, and then right
What?
here in between Reptile and Liu Kang is Larry
Business
Kasanoff.
come.
Jeez.
You got Larry Kasanoff's signature on this. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Corey, but Larry doesn't really sign much stuff, right? And like he doesn't.
I mean, we'll talk about when we get to Larry, but Larry does not do interviews. He does not do things. And I definitely had to kind of play with his ego a little bit to get him to open up something. So if I had to sell myself to the devil for 10 minutes to get a few answers
Well, it
to
paid
talk
off,
about
man.
Annihilation.
It paid off.
But, yeah, things by Larry they're not easy to come by. So
Now, 2 other things that we got signed by Larry in the cast was also these. We've got a copy of Mortal Kombat, the movie, on Blu-ray.
and everyone
Blu-ray.
you want the Annihilation.
And
you want
we got the Annihilation one.
Oh man, look at these. Okay, so you've got a signed photo, you've got a signed movie, you've got a signed the Blu-ray of the sequel too. Jeez. All right. Here's how it works, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not doing the trivia bot.
combat code.
We all know how that usually goes. We got one consistent winner, right? This time, we're going to ask one trivia question. First person to get it right is going to win. So we just had our segment with Chris Casamassa. We showed a bunch of clips from that interview. The whole interview will be released in a few days on the Mortal Kombat Online YouTube channel.
And you know what? The question is, what is Chris's social security number?
Yes. So the question is,
Anyone can get that.
what are the 4 things, what are the
That was
4
five.
lines that Scorpion has in the movie? Whoever is the first person to type out all of his lines is going to get the prize.
In which
And
movie?
this is not Jeopardy. Well, Chris is only in the first one. In the first movie,
Okay.
Scorpion has what lines? What are all of his lines? If this is not
Revenant
Jeopardy,
Ryu Kang. Revenant Ryu Kang got it, man. Look at him.
Nice. Revenant Liu Kang is the winner. So Revenant Liu Kang, you
so
get to pick.
do you want the poster?
Revenant
or do you want
Ryu
the
Kang.
Do
Yeah,
you
so
want the
just tell
poster
us.
or the first movie or the second movie?
You get the first movie option we got the Annihilation movie, whichever one you want.
Yeah, you get your pick since you're the first trivia winner.
You get whatever you want, the movie or one of the signed posters.
And Fatal Cade, you might want to set that prize somewhere and maybe write down his name with it so we remember which prize goes to which contestant.
Absolutely. Well, when you win, just
don't post your address in the stream.
No,
don't post your address.
Whisper.
No, we'll get with you privately.
Yeah, whisper us in the send us a private message right here on the Twitch page through whispering. Whisper to us your address and which prize you want. And
but actually, wait a minute. Let me backtrack. I'm glad we figured all this out beforehand.
Yeah.
You should actually probably say what prize you want now, so that we don't accidentally have two people picking the same thing.
Give your prize now. You have 5 seconds, and this mission will self-destruct.
There you go.
Whoa. Revenant Ru Kang was so fast to type the lines. It's like, you should be equally fast as far as telling us which prize you want. You have your choice, but first movie.
Okay, first movie
goes to Revenant Ru Kang.
Revenant Liu Kang is taking the first movie, which is awesome. That's a great choice. Revenant Liu Kang, this one's for you. And we're
you keep saying Revenant Liu Kang. It's Revenant Ryu Kang, like the Street Fighter, Ryu.
Revenant Ryu Kang.
So he's on the dark side, huh?
Okay, Revenant Ryu Kang.
Yeah, but there's a Dark Ryu and there's a Revenant Liu Kang, and he's like a mishmash of both.
Fantastic. Revenant, hit me with your address in a whisper right here on the Twitch page. I will make sure this gets sent out to you. Congratulations, buddy. Winner of the first Mortal Kombat movie, autographed by the cast and Larry Kasanoff. That's awesome. Congrats, buddy.
Congratulations. Just like we said, private message us, whisper us with your address. We'll get that out to you.
All right, so let's move on because I know everyone's really excited about Linden and Robin, and trust me, you're gonna want to hear what Larry has to say.
Oh, yes.
But Keith Cooke, I'll tell you a quick story that when I did the first event at the Chinese Theater, we had Linden, we had Robin, we had Paul Anderson, and Chris. We had Chris Casamassa, and when I turned around and I asked Robin if he would do Annihilation later in the year last year, Keith came aboard and we found out that, Robin at first was like, no. But then I was like, please. And, but then, no, Keith is by far out of all the guys. He's probably one of the most soft-spoken, humble people. He's just a fantastic guy, a family man. He's got 3 stepdaughters and a son. And he owns his own martial arts studio. His wife is a kick-ass woman, martial artist. And it's really interesting how he was brought in as Reptile, because it was, I'll let him say it, but it was after the movie was filmed, he came in and did it. And then even when he came back as Sub-Zero, he had to audition 10 times just to say, don't. But yes.
Don't.
But yeah, so I don't know he's going to talk a little bit about how he got Reptile, though, right? First? Is that first, Ryan?
Let me see. I believe, yes, we're talking about the character of Reptile first.
And did you get into
Yeah, so he gets into, how he gets into the character.
Wait, before we get into it, Total MK just shared some very interesting trivia information.
Yeah, he mentions that, yeah.
Keith is credited as the fastest kicker in martial arts history. He's as fast as Bruce Lee was with his hands. Keith Cooke is that fast with his kicks.
That's amazing, because I feel like, and somebody who's done a little bit of martial arts, a little bit myself, I'll tell you right now, using your legs is a lot harder than using your feet. So if he's that fast with his kicks, that's insane. That's crazy.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go ahead and play that clip, man.
Let's go ahead and get to the clip. Here we go.
Keith, you were in both Mortal Kombat movies.
Yes.
So in Mortal Kombat 1, you were Reptile.
Yes.
And then in Mortal Kombat 2, you were Sub-Zero.
That's correct.
So how did you get into character for Reptile specifically, if you remember?
Well, Robin and I have been friends for quite some time, and that was a scene that they decided to add to the movie after the movie was done. And just a little trivia, I was actually tried out for the part of Liu Kang also.
Really?
Yeah. And I probably went in 3 or 4 times, but I didn't get it. Obviously, Robin did. And then he called me after because we'd been friends for such a long time and worked out together a lot.
Yeah.
And when they wanted to add a scene and get more action, he called me up, and I went in and met Larry, and then we decided to do it. Yeah. And it was really, I don't know, it was really natural. It just felt really natural, and there wasn't really any, I wouldn't say like character development.
Yeah, it was just kind of a fight scene.
Yeah, it was a fight scene, and we wanted to make it feel like it was a little reptile-ish, like this thing.
Yeah.
You know, and
That was how he got into it, and when you watch the unedited clip, we actually talk a little bit about martial arts, which I know will excite Dan Pacina, and other martial artists who may be fans of what we're doing here. But he really goes into detail with like how he pulled from Bruce Lee and stuff, and it was really fun. But it was great, man. I mean, he's just really talking about, you know, how he auditioned for Liu Kang. Who knew that? That's like,
Yeah.
it's a
Look
gold
how many
mine.
times.
And had like his 4th callback.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah, I gotta say that I don't think that information has ever been posted anywhere. Like, this is the kind of stuff where before MK Online did these interviews, I don't think anybody knew this.
Yeah, I had no idea. When he said Liu Kang, I was like he might have. I think he might have been a decent Liu Kang too, honestly.
Yeah, he may have been able to pull it off, you know.
Yeah.
Like Chris Casamassa was talking about applying for the role of Scorpion again, and when you look at how Hanzo Hasashi looks in MKX, like Scorpion's human mode, and you look at Chris Casamassa's beard, it's like there's a lot to work with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think he could honestly play Scorpion's human form without even trimming his beard. I think he could pull that off for sure.
Oh yeah.
But when you look at Keith Cooke, he made it to be the younger Sub-Zero, and it's like now it's hard for me to imagine him as Liu Kang. You know, now that Robin Shou has kind of solidified himself in that role.
Robin Shou is Liu Kang.
Robin
you know.
is Liu, yeah.
But if things had gone a different way, and you know, we might all be unable to picture anybody else but Keith as Liu Kang. Who knows?
Yeah.
And that alternate timeline, that could be that could be the face of Liu Kang in our minds.
Somewhere in an alternate universe, it was Keith Cooke who was Liu Kang.
Right?
And Linden got cast again for Annihilation, and Annihilation was better than the first movie.
Okay. Enough alternate universe
Enough
stuff.
alternate universes.
Look, I'll shoot the shit with Linden about anything, but I'm not going to tell him that I think Annihilation is a more entertaining movie. Than
You know what? Going back to Keith and his auditioning for everything, you asked him if he had to audition again for the part of Sub-Zero in the second movie, or if he was already like guaranteed a slot because of what he did in the first film.
He had to audition.
The answer was surprising. Yeah, who would have thought?
Yeah.
Who would have thought? So let's go ahead and play that.
Oh yes, play the next clip with where he's talking about the auditioning process. Here we go.
For the role for Annihilation, when you did Sub-Zero, did you audition for that, or did Robin kind of help get you in for that role?
Oh, I auditioned a lot.
You did? Did you know you were going to be Sub-Zero in Annihilation? Is that the role you were like kind of dead on?
No, well, that's what I went into audition for, and I remember that day, you know, going in and going for it, you know, with the, you know, the audition and stuff, and then going through I must have gone in 10 times on that one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and went through table readings and stuff, and didn't even find out I got the Sub-Zero role until I got to England, because they approved me for Baraka, which I ended up not playing.
Right.
But I ended up playing Sub-Zero.
That's awesome. And you had, I think, one of the best fight scenes in
We'll wait for that one. That one got out of there a little bit, but yeah, no, I mean that was really great. As far as, you know, how many times he had to like put himself through the ringer to get this Sub-Zero role, you know.
Yeah.
And then I believe he talked about like the Baraka, right? So I mean, like that's crazy.
I mean, honestly, I always kind of thought that if you were in the first movie and then they're doing a sequel, then you're back in. Yo, you're in like Flynn. I wouldn't think.
Justin, didn't you get the memo? A lot of the cast was very hard for them to get into the sequel.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I think it's the most. Corey, you pointed this out to me when I was there in California with you, man. It's the most. It's literally the most.
It's literally. I've
recasted
never
movie.
seen. Yeah, I've never seen a movie that recast as many actors for a major film. Maybe, like straight-to-video movies, sure, they recast, but, like, for a major motion picture,
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, Johnny Cage, Jax was technically recast, Sonya was recast, Sub-Zero was recast, Scorpion was recast. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was.
But it's okay. We talked to Larry about it, so...
Yeah, actually, you
Yeah.
did. You did. You really
No,
got
that
him.
might be a record. I'd have to check with Guinness on that one. That may be
Yeah.
a world record.
Yeah.
Larry would show up for that award.
Out of theatrical releases, like when you specify,
Yeah.
maybe.
Pretty
And you're a
much.
movie dude, so who would know better than
Oh,
you?
and Raiden.
Oh yeah, can't forget Raiden.
Yeah. Absolutely. But it was
All right.
awesome.
Well, here's one of the things that I think is a big topic for today. Talking is obviously in Annihilation. There's a lot of things we don't like as fans. But there's something that Keith didn't like about his fight scene, which we later find out Larry Kasanoff directed that fight scene. So let's have him talk about what he thought about his fight scene in Annihilation.
All right, here we go.
And you had, I think, one of the best fight scenes in that movie because a lot of fans wanted to see the fight between Scorpion and Sub-Zero. What did you think when you saw your fight scene in the movie? Like after you'd done it and then you went to the movie and you saw it, were you happy with it or?
I felt like, one of the challenges I think for that scene was the lighting in that bridge, because it had two levels. It had the underneath and it was kind of dark.
Yeah.
And so I think that was a challenge for them in editing. And I felt like, like some of the stuff we did actually didn't make it into the fight because it was too dark.
The third movie was, I think, going to be...
Going a little too far there. Okay, so really good stuff as far as talking about the fight scene and, struggling with the lighting, it sounded like.
Yeah, he's talking about the halfway. I mean, this was something that I can tell you after talking to Sandra Hess, who plays Sonya in Annihilation, and Lucetta Vander, and Robin Shou, which Robin Shou choreographed every single fight scene, which we'll show clips of where he talks about it. But specifically with this fight scene with Scorpion and Zero, when they flip after the ice bridge breaks, it's way too dark and it's underlit. And it really upset Keith. And we find out later in Larry's interview that he actually was the one to shoot part of that fight scene. So, sorry, Larry. But, yeah. All the fight scenes in Annihilation got trimmed down heavily. That's why not only do they come up and pop up, Robin says he extensively shot longer fight scenes in these for all of them. Like the mud fight was supposed to be 3 minutes. The only ones that really stayed intact, and unfortunately this footage is on the cutting room floor, but the Cyrax fight was pretty much left in its entirety. But like the Raiden and the Raptor fights is like 45 seconds long, and he's like, we shot that over 9 days. We spent a whole and for 45 seconds, and you can pretty much just see it's not James Remar, it's Ray Park the whole time. So.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know who played those raptors. Do you know who played the other reptiles that he was fighting? Does that ever come out?
No.
Yeah.
I'm random stuntman, I would assume.
Yeah.
But you have to remember too, back at the Chinese when we did Annihilation, that raptor fight was changed last minute. It was added into Annihilation because originally it was supposed to be Liu Kang goes off to get Katana and Raiden fights Shiva. And that is in the script, and that was storyboarded, and it was ready to go. But then Larry chopped the budget again, and they didn't want to work with the animatronics of Shiva's arms.
It is tricky, yeah. But you know what? If you read, if you watch Defenders of the Realm, or if you read like the little pamphlet that came with Defenders of the Realm in some countries, or even the writer's guide by Threshold Entertainment that was released online by one of our users, Goro Still Lives, you'll see that part of the Threshold mythos was that there was a huge rivalry between Raiden and Shiva. And I could see that that's what they were building for, at least in the early copies of the Annihilation script. They wanted to keep that Raiden-Shiva rivalry thing going. And it sucks that they kind of built up for it in a lot of these other things, but then in Annihilation, they got rid of it at the last minute.
Someone just posted something, and I actually don't know if it's true. I mean, I'll take your word for it, but the guy who plays the one scene of Jax in the first movie, he died right after the movie came out. Is that accurate? Because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I think that is accurate. Yeah.
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 It's a shame.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Also, by the way, those scripts for Annihilation that you found that Justin was able to post around, I found them. You're welcome, guys.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome that you were able to get them and make them public. And I know that wasn't easy. Finding them was.
I was on, the thing is with you guys on this message board, I used to be on these boards when I was a kid and I was a teenager, and I searched the bowels of hell and back to find that Annihilation script. And then when I met Bryce Zabel, I was like, give it to me, please. And he gave it to me, and he gave me permission to copy it and give it away. So
that was, yeah, I mean, who else would have gone to all that trouble? So yeah, that is very much appreciated. And you know, speaking of scripts that we want, I know we all want the script for that third movie, but we actually have a clip from the third movie. So let's
well, a clip talking about it. Here's another clip talking about Devastation.
We have a clip talking about it.
Yeah, we literally got everybody to answer this question because it's so good, but here we go.
The third movie was, I think, going to be called Devastation. Mm-hmm. Did you get any kind of news about that? Were you like going to have any role in that, or
I didn't even hear anything about it.
Nothing?
Is it still coming out?
No. No. So they were going to do, I think, Devastation after a while, and then it just never came to fruition. It never ended up happening for whatever reason. We don't know.
They should have contacted me.
Yeah, I think I would have loved to see you come back as Sub-Zero, because there's a lot of plot line with the brother of Sub-Zero that you played in Annihilation.
Yeah.
He's a very main character in the storyline of the game.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that would have opened doors for you to maybe have a bigger role too.
Yeah.
Which would have been great. Was there a plan for you to have like maybe a bigger role in the actual original script? Because you just kind of did that fight scene and then that was it for you. You didn't have another appearance.
Yeah. I think originally I was supposed to come back in the ending, and I don't know what happened. So
it would have. I think it would have made more sense to have you come back in the ending.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah. I think they wanted to make it more mysterious or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe they were thinking about another movie or something like that.
Okay.
You know? But I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's one of those things that gets lost in translation. Making a film, I'm sure there's a lot of different hands in the pot when it comes to making these.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was such a great interview with him, and he didn't have any idea. He had no clue about Devastation.
Yeah, but you know what? He did share a lot of other information with us that was never before known, and it's always fun to get another piece of the puzzle. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course. And I think we got like almost all the pieces of the puzzle with these interviews. It was great to get all that from Keith.
Yeah, I mean, Keith has some good insight to the fights, and what I like about Keith as a person is he's very honest and blunt. He's a very blunt person about, like, this worked, this didn't work. Yeah, they wanted me back. Yeah, I needed to come back. Yeah, I had to fight for it. And so he's a very straightforward person, and he's a good guy to have a beer with. So,
yeah.
And like I said, he's got his own martial arts studio, Keith Cooke, and yeah, he's a good guy. I wish that he was a bigger part of the movie universe. He's probably the smallest part that we have, but yeah.
A lot of these guys, they're big into martial arts. You know, that's why they were selected for the Mortal Kombat movie. They're not as big into, well, I guess I should say martial arts is like their thing. You know, like Chris Casamassa has his own martial arts studio. Keith Cooke has his own martial arts studio. A lot of the guys from the games do as well. That's just kind of their big thing. So let's go ahead and get ready to do another giveaway here. What do you think, guys?
I think that's fair.
Ready to give something else? We still have Annihilation, and we still have, what is it, 3 signed photos from all the guys? Is that right?
Photos. And the photos also have Larry Kasanoff's signature. So Larry signed every giveaway item, which is great because it's so good to get the executive producer to sign.
It's funny. He charged me $50 for those autographs. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
just-
Okay.
No, he didn't. Larry was actually a trooper, man. He was
Larry, you know, I have to say for Larry, who has somewhat of a reputation. I mean, I'm watching you guys talk about him a little bit here on the boards. He was really excited, and I think, like, look, I think he made some mistakes with Mortal Kombat, but I feel like in a small, very smidge of defense, I think that he definitely does appreciate Mortal Kombat to a good extent, and wanted to do, you know, he did make the first movie, which we all have to say is a pretty damn good movie. So, but too bad he flopped a little bit later. But yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and ask the trivia question. So I'm just going to ask the question, and the first one to answer it will win. So I love the reptile fight. You know, Shinnux is saying that he thinks it's not as popular these days, but I think the song that they play during it is great. I love the way, but right before the fight starts, as the lizard creature gets trapped into the statue, like we're seeing in that GIF down there, that the announcer comes on and it says reptile. So the trivia question is, name the voice actor who actually announces reptile.
Which also you should know, in the work print of that movie, that reptile line is not in there. That was added very, very last minute, and I think it's great they added it.
Steve Ritchie, Outworld, gets it.
Outworld was the first one with that. That was close. That was a close one.
So
Total MK says easy, Justin. Easy.
Yeah, but he thought I was asking for the name of the song.
So Outworld.
He was answering the question so fast, I probably wasn't done asking.
Okay, so now we just need to find out what Outworld wants. He can get a copy of Annihilation on Blu-ray, autographed by the cast, or he can select one of these great autographed photos. It's really up to him with what he wants. There is no wrong answer. Actually, I didn't even know which one was better to get.
Yeah, see, Justin, I forgot that was the question, and they're talking about in the boards. I thought you were going to ask the name of the song during the reptile fight, which is Control. I think, right? Fans, is that right? Is it Control?
So Outworld has decided that he is getting the second movie.
Yeah, there you go. Outworld, you're my new best friend.
Which is awesome.
I gotta warn you, Outworld. If you're looking to play the movie, because it's a Blu-ray, it may not work so well on an Australian setup. So I'm just letting you know.
I think he just wants the autograph.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Display it for sure. You know, Linden didn't sign this one actually because he's not in it, obviously.
No, but you know what's funny? All right,
here we go. Justin's like, here we go.
You know what's funny? Justin already knows. So Linden, who's coming up next, so we can segue into Linden. You know, Linden's a beer guy. He's a dude's dude. He's laid back. He's chill. He's got a great sense of humor. He loves movies. He just loves talking about movies. He loves riding horses. He loves surfing. But we won't throw up a picture of it. But I have to point this out that while we were doing all the autographs, and I'm serious, MK fans, this is one of the greatest moments in my MK life. Ryan hands over his DVD copy of Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and everyone signs it. Linden doesn't sign that Blu-ray we just gave away. But guess what? Linden signs Ryan's Annihilation DVD. He puts his name, and then he draws a giant...
All right. Let's not finish up this story.
On Annihilation. And that's the end of the story. So he has a specially signed, autographed Annihilation DVD by Linden with a penis. Go Ryan. Snaps for Ryan.
Honestly, it's just great because, like, and I will say this. I know Justin's like, no, but like, honestly.
Justin wants one.
But honestly, from a collector standpoint, I'll tell you right now, I doubt Linden signs many copies of Annihilation. I'm sure maybe one or two are out there, but that's rare. And let alone to put his reaction like that, you're getting like a pure reaction. That is
he's really not a fan of
Justin, look at this. They love it. This is good entertainment, Justin. Look at these comments.
He's really not a fan of the second movie, and you can tell.
Yeah, but you know what?
Best autograph ever.
As an actual collector myself, that item is awesome, and I'm glad that he did that because
I'm actually jealous that you have that, Ryan.
I know. You want to trade the? We'll trade the film print for the DVD. How about that?
No, but yeah, fans, you guys should know that I actually own on 6 film reels a 35 millimeter film print of the first Mortal Kombat movie.
Yes.
Not even Paul Anderson has a copy of it.
And
on
not
film.
even Larry.
Not even Larry.
Not even Larry Kasanoff has that. So they're kind of jealous of you. They're like, how did you get that 35 millimeter?
Yeah,
How?
The first time I met Paul was at the Resident Evil 5 after party, and I told him that, and he's like, what? And then we ran that the first time we did the event at midnight, and he came out. This is when you know you've impressed the director, because Paul Anderson's all about digital. He's all about shooting 3D and all that other stuff with Resident Evil. And we ran my print of Mortal Kombat, which is flawless, pun intended. And he
Good
goes, and he comes up to me and he's like, Corey, that was film? That was film? And I said, I told you, right? Film still, man. It's still like Sonya's lips and Johnny Cage's green shirt. Man, that film print looks amazing.
And the
Anyway.
sound too, right?
The sound has a Dolby Digital track on it, which Dolby Digital was very new for 95.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can hear the whoof and wah of
So-
everything.
Hang on, wait. You said Johnny Cage has a green shirt? I could have swore it was blue.
No. He's right. It's green.
Green. It's like a dark green, but yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be one of those things now, where people see different colors and start posting the memes. What color do you see?
You may suffer from red-green color blindness, my friend.
I may. Maybe.
Hey, I would kiss Sonya. She has cute lips, okay?
I know. And they talked about Bridget Wilson, actually, and there's some really...
Yeah, we'll get to Bridget, but yeah, there's some stuff that I have to say about Bridget and Talicia.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to start
Talicia
playing.
or Talicia?
Hot goss.
But all right, we're at Linden. Now, guys, just bear with me. I want to vouch for Linden a little bit here. You have to remember, he's an actor, he's a surfer, he's all these other things. He appreciates with all of his might the Mortal Kombat, the movie and what it's brought to him. But you guys, he's not really a big gamer and he's not really a big thing. But here's what Linden has to say about what it means to him.
Absolutely. Let's get to it.
And I don't like watching myself. This is gonna be hard.
You'll be all right, I promise. Here we
I'll
go.
be okay.
Is it a very big particle part of your entire career, or?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it was this cultural kind of touchstone. I mean, it's just certainly for, I would say a generation, but it's actually probably a couple generations in there that. What qualifies as a generation?
I would say 12 years, but like
I
wouldn't go with the traditional decades like 80s, 90s.
No,
because
it's
if
more
you're
than
from the
that.
middle,
So
what are you?
It's kind of this spread from people who are in their early 20s to people who are in their 40s.
And I've learned that through Mortal Kombat, even though it's a PG-13 movie, it's an R-rated Yeah, I know. It's
Life lessons.
knowledge is power, number one. But one of
Honestly, guys, I love it when he's like, rip the spine out. Like, he's played it, or at least has seen it, which was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And he talked about how it was a major touchstone in his career and stuff, and I know the audio is a little harder to hear on that because we were shooting with the phone for that one. But, so it is recommended, by the way, that when we're playing these interviews that you do put your headphones on. We've tried to touch the audio up as much as possible, but the room was super noisy when we were doing this stuff. So
It was a party.
The acoustics in there were a little different, too, for the part of your video and for the part of Movie Dude's video.
Yeah.
So the settings for one weren't good for the settings for the other, so...
Yeah.
Bear with us, guys, but trust that if there's anything you need to know about what Linden was saying or what Movie Dude was asking, I've got every word. We know every word.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, just really be interactive on the thing. I can tell you, I mean, I've done interviews with Linden before. That's why we're having a beer, and it's like, I'm not as professional as I wouldn't be professional if I was interviewing Linden and Robin. They're like friends. So, but the thing is it was a huge thing in his life. He talks about it all the time. Justin can attest that when he came to my Chinese theater showing, he was in a soccer accident and had surgery on his leg. and he was hopping around, taking everything, doing, I mean, hours and hours and hours, hopping around on crutches for the fans. He absolutely, I feel like he embodies, like Ryan said, he embodies the character of Johnny Cage. He just kind of comes across as that guy.
He is. You know,
I mean, honestly, that was absolutely amazing that here he is in crutches. Obviously, he's not the Combat Cup version of Johnny Cage. And yet, he was a real trooper, right? He came in, he did the thing. I actually took a photo of him at that event, and I just shared it in the stream just now. I was able to pull that up in record time. But there is Linden Ashby at your event at the theater walking around on crutches. And he did it just for the fans. He didn't do it for himself. He did it just for the fans.
Yep, he's a great guy. Great guy.
That and Paul promised him beer.
Yes.
Oh, well, yeah, sure. For beer, anything for beer.
He's an IPA guy. I swear to God. That IPA we had that night was just delicious.
It was. It was great. You know, and then
so sweet.
I just want to put this out here as somebody who's, you know, has a little bit of a friendship with Dan Pacina. There are so many similarities between these two guys as people, to a certain degree. You know, like
Linden Ashby and Dan Pacina.
They both love to have fun. They're both fantastic people, and they both kind of have a little bit of a similar story, to a degree with some things. So I think these guys would actually, me personally as a fan, I think these guys would be great together. Honestly,
if we got them together, we would have to call it, you know what we have to call it? A mirror match.
A mirror match. But they're so great.
That's 1 point for Justin. That's one.
They're so great.
Yeah, well, added to my existing score, I'm at like 9,000. Over 9,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this high score is 100.
But they're both.
1,000.
But you know, they're both. You know, it's just fun because they're both like, they both love to party and have fun and chill and are laid back. And there's a part where.
Well, that's what we'll get to. Like, they're in two clips. There's a moment where I just start talking to Linden. I start talking about Cameron Diaz, and it morphs into this like thing, which I know it has nothing to do with Mortal Kombat, but I wanted to show you guys Linden when you just talk to Linden. So like in the middle of this interview, we just morph into something else, and it's just me talking to Linden. But you guys would be surprised to know, and Ryan, get the clip ready.
Yep, it's ready.
There was that fight scene that is a fan favorite with Johnny Cage and Scorpion was completely reshot and completely choreographed by Rob and Shou. But originally they meet up in the forest, and then this is what happens. Go ahead, Ryan.
Well, I believe we're going to play something for the MK3 movie first.
Yes.
Oh, that's not what I have.
Oh, yeah.
But that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay.
I think you got a little ahead of yourself there.
But that's okay.
Well, no, mine says 2, the original fight between Scorpion and Johnny Cage.
Oh, interesting. But no, so the movie was the next question actually that we had asked, and this was a really good question. And Corey, this is one that I don't think anybody else could have asked and gotten away with. I think you're that one guy, because you've got that relationship with Linden. I think you're that one guy who can just ask Linden and get like the most human, honest answer. And this was great. So I'm just gonna play the clip. But this is great.
One of the big questions I have for you is, being from Louisiana, the third movie was called Devastation, and there was a script for it in 2005, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember anything about the script? And because you kind of you never saw the script.
Was I in it?
Yeah, I was. I mean, it was one of those things that I think that it was supposed to be the return of Johnny Cage, and it's a big rumor. Here's the thing. Is there anything about the film just to even?
I love that because Linden, you're like, yeah, you know, the script, and then Linden sits here and he's like, yeah, well, would they have cast someone else? Like, it's so Linden. It's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, Vanilla Sky's coming up, guys. But here's the thing, and you're gonna see Robin. Linden and I sat down for 10 minutes but with Robin, me and him, we talk about his kids and everything. But the thing is, I think that being from the movie world of MK, I can vouch knowing Robin and Linden for years now, and their story really hasn't changed one word when it comes to the third movie. I think that Linden I think the great thing about him is he's not bitter about not being in Annihilation. I think that he definitely wishes he was in it. I feel like he wishes maybe things could go back to doing it, but I don't think a third movie was really ever in fruition. I mean, I've had more time with Robin off camera, just hanging out, having a beer at a pizza place, and I ask him every once in a while, I'm like, are you sure it never got close at all? And I know that Linden, here's what a lot of actors do. Linden probably said in past interviews about, how I'm going to, there's a script and I'm coming back. It's because he probably really wanted to come back and he didn't want to just say like, no, there's no news. And then all of a sudden, there's no movie. He wanted to keep the hype going. And I think Larry had every intention of making a third movie. And I think there was a script, but ultimately something fell between because Robin, Linden tell the same story, that it just wasn't, it was never really in fruition.
Yeah. That's interesting for sure. And,
and they would have no reason not to tell me that over a beer at Blaze Pizza.
Yeah,
Festival.
totally. If they weren't approached for the movie, if they tell you they weren't ever approached for it, then they just flat out, it never got to that point.
But I can tell you that they hoped for it. They hoped for it.
Yeah, they wanted it.
You'll see it when Robin talks, he's retired now, but he'll come back.
He's still down for it.
He would do anything. Yeah. So, but yeah, so yeah. So what's the next clip up?
The next clip is one of the best ones from the Linden interview. And there's a lot of
Really?
gold. There's a lot of gold treasures with this one. But you're talking to him about Vanilla Sky, but it also and Cameron Diaz. And this is where it really gets interesting because you see Linden's absolute human reaction to something Linden didn't know about when it came to the first movie.
When I talk to Linden, I don't talk about Mortal Kombat anymore. I talk about movies or when I'm writing or my job at Warner Brothers or something like that. So
Right.
But this clip is a little long. It might bore you, but it just it's Linden in his coolest form for sure.
Nobody will find a clip of Linden Ashby boring, even if he's talking about something besides Mortal Kombat.
Yes. This is Linden.
And he's very animated too for this. Like that's cool.
His eyes like pop.
Yeah, he's passionate. He's passionate about this. Like you guys are both passionate about the same thing here. You click, and people respect that.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's roll it.
Here it is.
Is there anything about the film, just to even let you say, that we don't know? Something that, a deleted scene, something that the audition process, I guess, was there anything crazy about it?
There was a different girl with song.
I remember Cameron Diaz was originally, when I met her, she said she failed the audition. Yes, I met Cameron Diaz and she said she broke her wrist and blamed the bad audition on the broken wrist. She said I was the only one to ask her about Mortal Kombat. But yeah.
She did alright.
Yeah, I think she went on to do a few little movies, some Tom Cruise films.
Yeah. I just watched Vanilla Sky.
That's actually my favorite Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz movie. It's mind-blowing.
It's so well.
And that was awesome. Just seeing Linden, like, did you see his reaction to the Cameron Diaz thing? He's like, really? Like he had no idea.
There's things that Linden.
Larry talks about it too. So this is that IMDb. Like I met her 10 years ago at a screening, and I mean it was meant to be her role, which Larry will talk about, but. It looks like Linden would have really enjoyed that.
Yeah, he looked really kind of excited about that, because I don't think Linden's ever worked with Cameron, has he?
No.
Well, see, it makes sense that this is new information to him because why would he have been there when they were casting Sonya? You know what I mean?
Right.
He wouldn't be there for the part of casting another actress. So that's like new information to him, and he finds it fascinating.
I gave him the scoop.
Yeah, that doesn't happen every day. That was cool.
Yeah, I mean, so we'll talk more about Cameron and with Larry, but do you have a clip set up for the original Scorpion fight with Linden?
It's
okay. We can just talk about it, so you guys know out here in Hollywood, sometimes in like random cities in the country, they do test screenings of movies. You know, Mortal Kombat was supposed to come out in the spring of '95. They did a test screening, and they added Reptile to the movie, the Reptile fight. They added the Johnny Cage Scorpion fight, and they had to reshoot it. And that goes back to Larry and a kind of a little dispute between Paul, the director, was that he said, look, this fight's not going to be good enough. We should go ahead and shoot it now while we're in Thailand. And so they had to spend like $4 million and go back and reshoot those fights. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, that was great. And I think the next...
It was worth it. You know what? It was worth it.
Was so worth
to go
it.
back and do those finishing touches. It really helped sell the movie. I wish they could have gone back and touched up a taste of things to come. I think that would have hyped up the ninjas even more.
Yeah.
But c'est la vie.
Yeah.
So I wonder if Linden Ashby ever played the game or knows who Daniel Pesina or any of these people are. Is that should be up next, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the next one is Linden playing the game. So we got a great clip from that, and we'll go ahead and roll the clip.
The game. Did you play it? Did you love it?
What?
The game. Did you love it? Did you play it? Was it mandatory for the audition that you know, have you ever met the guy who played like Johnny Cage? I think it's Daniel Pesina, but no?
I'm not a big gamer.
No, that's okay. You don't have, look, you don't have.
I think
the
I,
thing is,
I
you
think
know
I-
the
I
character
tried-
so well that it's hard to believe you didn't
I
love
tried
it.
to. I think I tried to play the game like when it was an arcade game.
Yeah. Well, I guess the final question I have that everyone asks. Well, no, it's fair.
So right there you have it. Like Linden, he's an actor. Like his art form is to look at the script, look at the character rundown, and get into character and do that, right? So that's pretty much what he does. You know what I mean? So playing the game, I don't think it was really on his to-do list. I think he was more interested in the portrayal that like maybe Larry Kasanoff wanted him to have, or maybe even Tobias, because I think John Tobias helped on this movie. So I'm pretty sure that was his connection to potentially getting into character, right?
Which I also have to say from previous Q&As, not to burst the bubble, but Robin and Linden have all told me that when it came from the game side of things, like Ed Boon and them really had no involvement. They visited the set a couple times. They approved the script, but they were too busy on the games that they really didn't have much to do with the first film. And Robin said, I don't even recall him coming back for Annihilation to be on set. So
yeah, and that's consistent with what Tobias has said too, is that he was there for the first one a little bit more, but for the second one, they kind of didn't bring him in until after the whole thing was over, and he wasn't happy with the direction that it ended up with. But
Right.
They kind of didn't really let him get involved with the second one, and that was disappointing for him. I know Tobias has said that in various places. But you know what? In that clip where Linden was talking about how he's not much of a gamer, and you know, he was kind of apologetic for it, but it's like that's okay. Like, you're an actor. As long as you can act, you can read up on the game, you know. And I think for research, they basically just watched gameplay footage, and maybe they read the bios or something like that. And that's enough for him to work with. You know what I mean? As long as they have discussions and he takes the characterization very seriously,
Yeah.
it's not really that.
yeah, and I don't even think he had to take the characterization seriously. I think Linden's kind of almost playing Linden.
Yeah,
which
I
is
think
playing
that's
Johnny
true, too.
Cage.
Like, they wrote the version of Johnny Cage, I think, off Linden's personality. Kind of like how they made the storyline for Johnny Cage in general off Dan Pesina. But you see that those guys have so much in common that, you know, Linden didn't, you know what I mean?
He's
like,
a natural pick.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they're a lot of the same type of personality. Maybe Danny doesn't want me to say that, but it's true. I mean, they really are similar-esque when you hang out with them. They have a lot of similarities. They're both great, fantastic.
And
people.
even the way they kind of got squeezed out of the game and their characters got killed, and then they got recast when the characters were brought back.
Like,
you
that's
can kind
another
of see
thing
the
that they have in
parallel.
common. That's another thing they
Yeah.
have in common with Danny getting forced out or Danny, I guess, leaving after Mortal Kombat 2, and then Linden getting forced out after the first movie. Like, these guys both play the same character and both have the same behind-the-scenes trouble with the powers that be. Like, they do have a lot in common.
well,
Somehow that parallel exists.
Well, the thing is next up should be where he talks about why he doesn't come back to Annihilation, which his answer is very brief, but I will give you guys the rundown of the real story of what happened.
Oh, let's just play it. Let's just play it.
So, yeah.
And this is the question.
No, I'm saying this is, he kind of blows it off and just yells for Larry, but I'll tell you what really went down. So.
Okay.
Yes, and this is also the question that only Corey could get away with. I'm 100% sure. So, here we go.
Thank you.
What exactly happened with Annihilation, the second movie, and not doing it in the script? Were you a main character?
I'll talk to Larry about that one.
We'll talk to Larry about it. I can go with that.
Yeah.
But no. Do you know that when you did the first movie, were you asked like to do the sequel, or
I had a sequel deal.
you did have a sequel?
I did have a sequel.
You know if Robin did?
You might have.
But you had a 2-picture, maybe 3?
Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So right there, I mean, we find out he had a 2-picture deal. He had a sequel deal, maybe even a 3-picture deal. He kind of leads on to that being a potential.
I think it's a 2. It's a 2 based on previous answers.
Right.
But you listen, this is what I love about that clip. Is the fact that he's like, he's looking around. He's like, yeah, talk to that guy over there. Talk to Larry.
You might want to ask Larry about that. Like, he leans right over in Larry's direction.
It's funny because, the fact that all these guys are in the same spot at the same time, that'll never happen. Like, that changes, that sort of dynamic. That changes the quality and the nature of the answers that they give.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so here's the thing with Linden. That's more of the story, because we got a lot of this when I did my Chinese theater event. When me and Ryan got there, look, I'm not going to get into what is exactly the beef, but Larry and Linden are opposite sides. They're Scorpion and Sub-Zero to an extent.
Yeah.
And Larry is good friends with Chris, and so they were all there and they made peace and everything was great for everyone. But it's no secret that Larry was the man responsible for Linden not returning as Johnny Cage. And I can tell you flat out right now that Linden had an option in his contract when he did the second movie that he could negotiate a salary. And I'm not going to tell you what that salary is, but it's an extremely low salary to ask for to come back and reprise his role. And this was done before the script was completely written and put into play.
Yeah.
And that there was just Larry just said, we don't need you. Literally, we don't need you. And we can go on. We've got so many other characters that we can work with, and fine, you're fired. And that's what Linden's told me. And Linden has no. In that moment, he would have said more, but I at the Chinese theater in front of 500 people, he tells the story. And if you go to my @moviedude18 YouTube page and watch my Q&As, you'll know just how much he asked for. And I think it's a very reasonable price, given the amount of money that the movie's made.
That the first movie made, and then the second movie outdid that, right?
I will say this:
the second movie didn't make as much, but part of the reason why is because Johnny Cage and all the recasts and all the things that Larry.
Yeah.
I will say this: if they had decided to bring Linden back, whatever he wanted, and they brought him back and they kept his character alive for the second movie, the type of humor that he brings. Not just the way the writers have what they have him say, but also his delivery, and his ad libs, the whole 9 yards. It would have changed what they needed Jax for. See,
That's what I agree with that.
They made Jax the comic relief. Johnny Cage, if they had kept Linden on and had him be the comic relief, Jax's character would have stepped up and had a completely different role, which might have made the whole thing a lot better.
I think the whole script would have been different. I think it would have affected a lot of stuff.
There's a domino effect. You know what I mean?
It's a domino effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, Jax is a more serious character. You know what I mean? He's very military. And Johnny Cage is the comic relief. You know what I mean? So
Ryan, people are talking a little bit about like Daniel Pacino possibly being in the movie and a cameo back in the day. Do you feel like saying
it would have been epic?
Do I feel like touching on that from what I know?
Is that true that he was involved in maybe working in a cameo? Or
here's what I was told by several people who I won't name, but I believe Danny was offered something to do with the movie. What in detail, I'm not 100% sure, but they really kind of did this to try to prevent him from having the Midway dispute, and I you know what I mean? Like, I think that they were going to put him in. I don't know exactly what role or what he would have done. But I think they did do something where I think it might have maybe, and I could be wrong here. I can't remember off the top of my head, so I'm shooting blanks. But I think Danny and Ho Sung Pak might have like shot a couple of like fight choreography scenes that maybe they drew from the movie. Like,
well, in fact, check this out, guys.
Yeah.
Here's a link to Dan Pacina's Twitter, and you can see that Ho Sung Pak and Dan Pacina, they dressed up as Liu Kang and Sub-Zero. They put this publicity shot out there. They sent it to the guys in the movie, and you can clearly see that the Liu Kang and Sub-Zero fight drew inspiration from what Dan Pacina kind of set up for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's actually a photo out there, and I have it, but I don't want to post it without Dan's permission. But,
I've seen that. Yeah.
But it's the exact same, like when they're getting ready to fight, like it's the exact same stance. And
Yeah.
that was absolutely from Danny and Ho Sung. It has to be. And it's from MK2. But it's amazing. Like it's great. And yeah.
Right,
so,
and I just actually linked to it in the Twitch chat there. But you can see it. It's like, wow, that setup. That was definitely something that Pacina had originated. That was all up here.
Yep.
And, between him and Ho Sung. So it would have been great. I think it probably would have prevented a lot of the problems that happened later on between Pacina and the rest of them if he had gotten that cameo in the movie or any kind of bit role, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think they presented it to him in a way to leverage him to not get taken care of, which I understand.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it either if I was Dan. I wouldn't have done it either. And that's something that I think Danny can answer on his own. I don't want to put any words in Dan's mouth. That's something that Dan should be asked, and maybe we can get Danny on sometime to talk about stuff like that if he's ever down.
That's fair. That's fair.
But
that's his story to tell.
Right, Dan's he's a really good friend, and I have a lot of respect and love for him, and he is a great person.
I see a lot of people in the chat have questions about it, and I know that there's a lot that could be said about it, and I would like to bring Dan Pacina on at some point, and he can, answer the fans' questions.
So seriously, the best way to do that, guys, is tweet him. Tweet at Daniel Pacina and say, hey man, we got this stream thing going on. It's pretty cool. It's a cool little Mortal Kombat world.
Fatal Cade kind of has a more direct connection there.
Yeah.
But also it was, look, I'll tell you guys one thing, and Justin credits me, and I kind of credit myself. There was, I won't say where or how, but Chris Casamassa was kind of on the outskirts of the I guess cool club with a K of Mortal Kombat people, and when I got them together at the Chinese theater, it was the first time that they had all been together, and it was a bunch of dudes, and now they're all showing up at each other's events and doing other things, and they're a whole family again, and but I actually Chris Casamassa reached out to me when I was doing my Chinese event because enough fans demanded him and Facebooked him and tweeted at him that moviedude18 was doing this thing. So, if you guys have questions, it never hurts to get together and tweet some people to try to get some answers.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of getting answers,
I wonder if Linden, third movie.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is that Linden Ashby? We had to ask him, would he be down for a third movie? So, let's go ahead and pull that clip.
Yeah.
Ryan, you and your haircut, press play.
All right, we'll hit the clip.
I think we all wish Johnny was a big part and you were in the second movie too. But I think we still pray for the day, quote, that there's a return to the franchise.
It would actually be, I don't know, I mean, the logical thing is to reinvent it, like, James Bond or but it would be pretty fun to bring.
And Paul's on that train. That's what he said at the Chinese theater. He was all about the idea of like how Star Wars and everyone they realized that their originality, their you know.
There's such a fondness for this film, and kind of just goodwill.
Yeah.
And it's a fun film. It's fun. It's got heart. It's got, and it would be really fun to kind of go back to that again.
So there you have it. I mean, it would be fun to come back. I'd love to come back. Like, you're hearing that, and that's exciting. Paul wanting to bring everyone back. Like, this is something that could happen, right?
I don't
No.
see why not.
Justin's like,
I don't want to
like,
be the
no.
dream crusher, but I mean, I can tell you from what I know and knowing them now and asking Robin, point blank, that was off camera. I said, have they even tried to reach out to you about you doing a cameo or something like that? And that's where I'm saying fans need to speak up, because Linden and all them, they're still wanting to be involved. And it sounds like with Mortal Kombat, this new movie, sounds like they have no idea what they're doing. From what I've heard inside of Warner Brothers, which you know is right outside my door, and I'm there, they keep changing every little aspect of the movie and what little, I can't share anything, but I feel like if it can be let it be known by the fans, you know, part of what's coming up with Larry, that we want a 4K Blu-ray, we want just a Shout Factory to do a special edition with all these interviews and clips and stuff, you know. I think the fans deserve to know a little bit more of what we have than what we have. But it's universal that Chris, Keith, Linden, all of them would be more than ecstatic to come back in any way they could, especially Robin. And it's interesting because Robin doesn't want to come back as Robin. He wants to come back as another character.
Well, hang on. We can save
I know.
that.
I'm going to save it.
All right.
He doesn't want to come back as Liu Kang, but okay.
But, all right, guys, listen. We have another giveaway. It is time. I think everything that we're giving away is a signed photograph. So, Fatal Kate, if you want to hold that up for everybody again
we got 3 of these.
Lovely Vanna White.
3 of
the
these.
first person to answer this question is going to win. Although, I guess not if you're already a winner of something else. We want to we want to have different winners.
You can't be a winner twice.
Before we get to the giveaway, though, just to let all of our Facebook friends know they're watching on Facebook, get to the Twitch link and answer in the Twitch chat. That's how you win. So you're going to ask this question live. Whoever answers it first gets it. If you've already won, please do not answer, because we want 5 brand new people to win. So it's one of those things where you jump in the chat and type it in first. And that's how we're doing it. But you have to make a Twitch .tv username, sign up with Twitch, and then go in and answer it, and then you're all set. Because I think we have some Facebook users who may be frustrated that we're not able to see what they're typing. We just share it onto Facebook. But the giveaway questions, you have to type the answers
exclusive
into Twitch. Right. This is a Twitch exclusive. So
yeah. But join us over here, guys. It doesn't cost anything.
Nope, it's free to make a Twitch account, make a username, jump on in, and then
we only steal your social security number and home address.
No.
I mean, look, you look at all the congressional hearings that Facebook is being summoned to. You never hear about Twitch getting summoned to these things. Yeah. So seems safe. I don't know. Seems safer to me.
Yeah. You know.
All right. So here's the trivia question, guys. Like I said, first one to answer this, except for previous winners, is going to get it. Type the name of Johnny Cage's master. Go ahead and type the name of his martial arts instructor from the movie.
You should say Linden Ashby's master.
Okay.
It's
because it's not Chris Conrad's master, right? Art Lee. Master Luke. Ooh.
You should clarify, are you talking about in real life or in the movie?
Right.
Too late. Danny Addy, 55, got it right with Master Boyd.
Master Boyd, Danny Addy, 55. Congratulations,
with
my
a
man.
signed photo.
Signed photo. That one is going to you. So I'm going to go ahead and update our notepad of winners here.
Yeah, make sure, Danny, that you send us at our Mortal Kombat Online, you whisper to us your name and address so that we can send out your prize to you. Don't put it publicly in the chat.
Yeah, don't put it publicly, man. Just whisper it.
No, guys, Art Lee was the guy that died by Goro, and then after he dies, 20 seconds later, Linden goes, "No!"
It's actually Art Lean.
That's
Lean.
right.
Yeah.
Lean.
This isn't Jeopardy. We're not going to screw you over like that kid.
Still got 2 trivia questions left. 2 giveaways.
Good deal. Good deal.
Okay, so we've got 3 of these bad boys accounted for.
All right, so here's how we segue into Larry. In the message boards, please let it be known from my curiosity. What's your take on Larry Kasanoff and Lawrence Kasanoff and the movies and Threshold? Because I've heard stuff over the years. I used to be like you guys in the message boards talking about it. I met him 10 years ago when I first moved to LA. And I have to say, he seems like a really nice guy. I think he was very ambitious with Annihilation. Things just fell through the cracks. But, he's very tight-lipped and doesn't like to talk about. He doesn't do interviews. And I don't think if I had buttered him up, I mean, I'm pretty much stroking his ego a little bit. But I wanted to get you guys some answers.
But we have...
And yes, I met him at a test screening of Food Fight. Whoever just posted Food Fight, I met him at a test screening of Food Fight 10 years ago. And before we did the interview, after I told him that story, he says, for contract reasons, I cannot talk about Food Fight. And I said, okay, well, we're going to talk all about Annihilation and what you did wrong, buddy. So,
well, hey, if that's what he wants to talk about and not any of the hikes from the movie.
Yeah, no, and I'm happy about that. But so there is a part where when I was a kid, I'm from Louisiana, where they do a lot of filming, and there was a tax incentive. And I remember in the paper one day there was a picture of Scorpion with Chris Casamassa, and it was supposed to be a big thing that they were going to film the 3rd Mortal Kombat movie in Shreveport and in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And then Hurricane Katrina happened. I have to know that hurricane, when they filmed the Melina-Sonya mud fight, it was not supposed to be muddy.
Right.
And this is what Larry had to say.
Well, actually, but before that, I do have one more clip of Linden.
Oh.
That's classic.
Oh, is this where he's like, I'm not whatever?
Oh, I thought we finished up with the whole Linden stuff.
We got, it's just a bonus. It's a bonus.
This is a bonus thing about Linden's feelings ultimately in one sentence on Annihilation.
Yeah, just a quick little one, and then we'll get right into Larry right after it. So it'll go from one right into the other. But this is a little bonus.
Okay.
Bonus vintage Linden Ashby for you all.
I guess the final
Just
question
make
I
this a
have
meme,
that
guys.
everyone asked, no, it's fair. Everyone asked is what exactly happened with Annihilation, the second movie, and not doing it in the script. Were you a main character?
I'll talk to Larry about that one.
We'll talk to Larry about it. I can go with that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Were you? Do you know that when you did the first movie, were you asked like to do the sequel? Or
I had a sequel deal.
You did have a sequel deal.
did have a
You know if Robin did?
You might have.
But you had a 2-picture,
Yeah.
maybe 3.
Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. And then one more thing, actually. How was we missed Bridget at a lot of all these things. You're a little bitter, but that's okay. You have an IPA to fill that crack.
It's right. It's alcohol can fill all the cracks in your heart.
No.
So that was just funny. Alcohol can fill all the cracks in your heart. I just love that. That was great. But we're gonna jive right into the interview.
He's not
Larry.
bitter.
Just a little bit. It's all right. But we've got the interview right here with Larry talking about the fight scene in the hurricane and all this good stuff. So here we go right into that.
Which is your fight scene you like?
The 2 fight scenes that I like the most are Cyrax and Melina, the mud fight, which the first fight you filmed.
Yeah. I actually directed second unit of that fight.
You actually directed second unit?
Yeah.
And you were also making another movie, I think it was Beowulf with Christopher Lambert?
That
Or
was way later.
Okay, it was later. Okay, I want to clarify that. No, the mud fight. I mean, how can you not?
It wasn't supposed to be a mud fight. What happened was we were shooting in the copper mine in Wales and a hurricane struck, and we had to, we were traveling all over the world making the movie, so we had to do it. And the girl who was in the movie, Dana He, who was doing it, was still a great friend of mine. I was in an Arctic snowsuit, and Dana was in that little Melina costume. It was like 0 degrees, hurricane again.
That's what I heard. Sandra was at the
Sandra too,
reunion.
yeah.
She was like, "You don't understand how cold it was.
Those girls
it
were
was so
such
cold."
But I directed most of that fight. Those girls were such troopers. Unbelievable.
That's great to hear about. Like, you know, you'd never imagine watching it how freezing that environment had to be, but that's crazy.
Really is, dude.
You know, and it's one of those.
You don't know that when you're just sitting down and you're watching a movie and you're watching popcorn and maybe you're doing other things also out of the side of your eye. It's hard to appreciate just how much abuse those actors and actresses are putting themselves through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, that's what Robin says. Is with Annihilation, everyone was so pumped up. You know, once they figured out that, you know, who was in, what cast was coming back, that when it came down to the Annihilation, the very first fight scene they filmed was that fight, and that's why he believes Robin thinks it's his favorite fight. I think we have how the Mortal Kombat movie started, which is a story that's untold from Larry, because he bought the rights. He's really is the one responsible for it. Oh, is there a clip line?
Is there what?
Is there a clip line? I don't know. You guys are just both looking down. Okay.
No.
No, I mean, with the story about him licensing Mortal Kombat and how he played.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's this clip here where he talks about it.
Okay.
But he also talks about the Scorpion and Sub-Zero fight here, right?
Let's play that clip and find out.
Yeah, this is I believe this is Scorpion and Sub-Zero. So here we go.
Out of both movies, what's your favorite fight of each film?
Of the first 2 movies, I think it's the Scorpion, Johnny Cage fight, and I think it's the fight with
yes,
the reptile fight. Of the second movie, it's that fight.
Yeah.
I should say that. The second movie too. No, there was a great fight between Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
Yeah.
Where we did it. I shot that fight too. Where we did
He talks about how that was like on salt and it was crazy, that bridge.
We did the bridge, and it was you could fall. I mean, the London. It was crazy, but they did a shot where they both jumped and they both flipped and one hit the other. That's one of the best shots in the whole movie, in the whole series.
Yeah. No,
And those guys were such
I mean,
they had to do it over and over and over and over again. It was such a pain in the ass to them.
That's awesome. So, you know, he thought that was the best shot in all the film series was that one where they did the double flip.
Yeah, but then I just love the fact that Larry's like, I shot the Sub-Zero Scorpion fight. Go back to Keith and what we just saw. I thought that was terribly shot.
Yeah.
That absolutely is hysterical if you just take those 2 clips and put them back to back.
Yeah.
And these guys they're all in the same room together. You know, we're getting all different answers on different opinions on everything, and it was great. It was just fantastic, the whole thing.
All right. So let's see. How did he license it? Because it's actually cool because an 11-year-old beat his ass.
Yeah.
And I love that. So go into that.
Here we go.
Going back to the first film
Let's
and
play
the
it.
beginning as a producer, you know, there was the Street Fighter movie, there was Double Dragon, but then this was the one. And I still stand by that. While Annihilation's my favorite video game movie, I think the first one is better in terms of like storyline.
I agree.
But the second one's funner to watch for me.
Yeah, it was very ambitious.
But the point is with the first one, had you played the game? What was your favorite character? Had you?
Well, I played the game a lot. I played the game all summer trying to decide whether or not to license it. And you know what turned me? I wanted to do it. I knew I should do it. And I went to an arcade, and the little kid slapped down a quarter and looked up to me and challenged me. And then
You're like a 3 foot?
like 11, and I played Sub-Zero, he played Scorpion, he beat the hell out of me, Scorpion wins, and the kid was so empowered, I thought, whoa, look how this can empower this kid. I made the deal the next day.
What about?
Like, that's such a good story. You know what I mean? Like, right there, that's what got Mortal Kombat licensed. That's you know, with Larry Kasanoff. Like, that's such a good story. You know?
It's
sure.
pretty cool.
You know, it shows how he could
tried.
He could see the effect that the game is having on people. You know what I mean? Even if he doesn't understand everything about this game, he can see the effect that it has, and he knows he's got to get in on this, and it would make a killer movie. And he was right.
Yeah.
And it's still, to this day, after all this time, considered the best video game movie of all time. Until maybe Rampage, not even a year ago.
I don't even
now a
count that.
contender. Rampage is now a contender for the
You're
title.
telling me that you like Rampage more than Mortal Kombat.
What I said was Rampage is now a contender for that title. And I think we have to admit the fact that Mortal Kombat has been around for so many years, and we're only just now saying that another movie could even come close to dethroning it. That's insane, man. It's got staying power.
I don't know about you, but I mean, there was a movie called Battleship. I'm just kidding.
No.
No, it's not even a video game.
But fun.
It was
You're
a
not
video
going to sink my
game,
battleship with that one,
Yeah.
buddy.
No. All right, I have a question. Before we get into what exactly happened with Cameron Diaz and how close she was to actually playing Sonya, do you think she would have played a good Sonya?
I really
Oh,
like.
yeah.
Do you think
If
she
you
would have been
see-
too pretty?
No. If you see her in other roles, like, yeah,
Night
she would have done a bang-up job. Well, like Charlie's Angels, for example. Like, yeah, she would have done a bang-up job as Sonya. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
All right, well, go ahead and play how she broke her wrist, and it was her role. It was her Meryl Streep moment, and she blew it. But okay.
But here we go. Here's the details.
What about casting the original Trinity? You know, I actually met Cameron Diaz back 10 years ago at ArcLight Hollywood, where she was introducing There's Something About Mary, the 10-year anniversary. And I was the only one to apparently ever ask her about Mortal Kombat.
What'd you say?
But I said I heard on IMDb for all these years you broke your wrist and that hindered something. And I just said, what is...
Right.
And she said, and I told her, I was like, after seeing Charlie's Angels, I thought she would have made an amazing Sonya.
Right.
But she said that she just fell out of auditions. That she broke her wrist during auditions, and that.
No, so we had earmarked Cameron to play Sonya from day one. No offense to anyone else, we just always wanted Cameron from the.
And that's coming off the mask, like right boom.
But we had the same casting director, the same studio. We wanted her. She was her part, and she came into training, and she was just a freak thing. She just went like that, and she just fractured her wrist, and so she couldn't do it. And you know, I mean, you know, Bridget was great, but it was really that we just always had Cameron from day one. And but you know, look, it is a martial arts movie, and these people train.
There you go. You got it from the horse's mouth, Larry Kasanoff. It was Cameron's role. You know.
Yep.
She was the same studio. She was coming off the mask. Same casting director. It was hers. It was hers.
In fact, Fatal Cade, don't we have like the IMDb page for that somewhere? Do you have that?
There's
ready?
trivia.
I know there's like an IMDb page that talks about it. Can you pull that up real quick?
Yeah,
possibly?
let me go ahead and pull that up here for you guys. There it is, right there. Cameron Diaz almost starred in the Mortal Kombat movie.
God, that was fast.
By Cinema Blend. Yeah, I'm getting quicker with these things. It's great.
Oh man, yeah, right. And this is just like you said, Movie Dude. This is just like you said in your interview with Larry. Like, right off the mask.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This was her role.
Yeah.
It sounds like they really built it for her, and this was hers for the taking, and she got hurt. But you know what? I mean, as much as they say about how this was for Cameron Diaz, I personally think Bridget Wilson knocked it out of the park. I really think she did a great job. Maybe she, you know, we weren't there for the behind the scenes to see the fighting. Maybe some of the fight scene struggles she may have had.
Bridget sucked as a fighter. You know, Robin, Paul, they've all agreed that, like, you know, she only really has that one fight scene with Kano, and then it's very short, and there's not much to it. But Robin, as a choreographer, like, I hate me or not, Sandra Hess, who you met, Justin, she has way more fighting. She has way more fight scenes. She has to fight harder, tougher. Yeah. And I feel like Bridget plays a good character when, like, Sonya's in dialogue. Right. But I feel like Sandra plays a better kick-ass Sonya in terms of physicality.
Right. I would tell you, Sandra's Sonya, she seems like much more caring and nurturing, kind of. Where Bridget's Sonya, it's like, you really believe her. Well, you really believe her when she's like, I trust one person on this planet, Jackson. You're talking to her.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like you really feel that, you know? Like, but with Sandra, she seems so caring, so nurturing. She, you know, I guess she changed over the course of the first movie, so that's kind of okay. But she really cared about Johnny a lot. You know what I mean? She cares about a lot of people, and that her heart really, she has a big heart in the second film. Yeah. But I kind of prefer the first tough as nails Sonya from the first one.
Yeah, because, you know, she softened up a little bit after she kind of had that thing with Johnny, and then the other characters. They went through a lot in the first movie, and they changed a little bit.
And ironically, she does become a tougher fighter despite being a softer character. So it's interesting.
Justin, yeah. Someone thinks that we're fighting or there's tension.
Yeah.
Someone, I don't know. No.
They don't know how tight we are, man.
They don't know the 3-hour phone call sessions that we have.
Yeah, all of us, all three.
They do now.
Yeah. No, like I literally lived with you, Corey, and like me and Corey call each other every day. Me and Justin call each other every day. We are super, super close. But we're just very passionate, so we all have like a great discussion about this stuff.
And I do want to be careful because like I don't want to give the wrong impression that I think Rampage is better than Mortal Kombat. I am not saying that. So I like if I stiffened up for a minute there, like I want to be crystal clear. No. I'm not saying I think Rampage is better than Mortal Kombat or that I prefer it.
Oh no, and personally, if you do, I don't care. Everyone has an opinion. You're entitled to it. I loved Rampage, but the thing is like. I just really, it's hard for me to consider Rampage a video game movie. I know that it is, but it's like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't have those kind of video, you know what I mean? I don't know. But no, it's a great movie. I saw it in 4DX.
This is what I think is interesting about it, is that a lot of people can see Rampage, not get that it was a video game movie, just understand that it's a movie and say, hey, that wasn't bad.
Okay, well, here's a Mortal Kombat to throw that back on Mortal Kombat. I firmly believe that Mortal Kombat is a standalone. When you go into watching the Mortal Kombat movie, say you're recruited for a test screening and you watch that first movie, not the second movie,
right.
You don't need to really know anything about the games to understand what is going on in the Mortal Kombat movie.
Right.
Every character's introduced. We know why they're there. And you really don't need, and I think that's part of the reason why the first movie was so successful.
It works.
Was because a lot of people maybe we're like, you know, parents or friends of friends that are like, cool, fighting action martial arts movie, and you didn't need to know who Kano was. I mean, I killed your partner, you know, I slit her ear to ear. You don't really. I feel like it stands alone.
Yeah.
I feel like it stands alone very well.
And you know what? I've got a quote from Larry Kasanoff, and I'm not going to bother pulling it up or anything, but I have a quote from him in a magazine, and he says, you know, what we're really going for here is a movie that even non-gamers and non-Mortal Kombat fans can enjoy. And I think they really nailed that for the first one.
Oh, yeah.
And for the second one, there's so much fan service that was sort of impossible to do. And it was a more difficult task when you had so many characters. But man, I do love the way, and your breakdown is exactly on point. Like you get a understanding of who each character is and why they're there and what they want, what their motivation is, and their story arc from beginning to end. It's done like a real movie. And it still holds up so well after all this time.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely love it. And I don't know if Rampage is going to be, they've taken that same way 25 years later or 20 years later.
Like Mortal Kombat, the movie, because I don't think Mortal Kombat, I feel like it's never ending. It's never going to, we can try to say they would kill them all in Armageddon, but we're only going to bring them back again. But I feel like, Rampage is one of those that, like, in 20 years, will it, I think Mortal Kombat from 95 will be more popular in 20 years from now than Rampage will be in 10 from now. You know what I mean?
We'll see.
It's everywhere.
We'll see. I do think it was well done, though, and I do like the fact that in Rampage there are Mortal Kombat. There's a Mortal Kombat arcade cabinet in the background.
Yes, I
love that throwback.
And those guys are tight on the game side. I believe. I mean,
they do. Yeah, they are, man, and they help each other with their projects. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the WWE wrestling game developer team and the NBA Jam developer team and the Mortal Kombat team, they'll all kind of check out each other's projects and be like, hey, here's a tip I found out that'll get around this problem. And that just kind of gets them, over the hump.
They're
and
like
I love
a big
the
family.
I love the fact that despite how competitive it is at a lot of companies, and they were kind of divided into teams, they didn't see a whole lot of each other. And when they did, it seemed like it was always very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like that makes it easier for them to work again later on with each other on future projects. Fraysol is asking me, where was the arcade machine, Tabmach 99?
It was in the bad guy's lair. If you look in the background, you see
It is.
Yeah,
The company, the big bad evil corporation's headquarters.
Maylene Ackerman's headquarters. Yeah.
Yeah, and I will actually because I have the movie on Blu-ray, so I will definitely get a screen grab.
And by the way, I love that you guys are commenting that you like me. That makes me feel really good. They know I was nervous about this, so I know you guys are all super fans, and I'm a fan too. So anyway,
That's awesome.
Dude. No, you know what? We always have good guests on the stream.
Yeah,
you know,
we do.
Always.
but okay, so you know me. I'll never dodge a question, but I think next up is Larry just completely dodging the fact that the Quan Chi ending doesn't exist, which we have a cast member later talking all about it and how he was on set that day.
Okay.
But let's watch Larry look like a fool.
Before that, Fatalcade, I want you to do me a favor.
Yeah.
Can you find the part of the script where they actually talk about the Quan Chi and Shinnok ending? Because that's in the script. And
I'm
Corey,
gonna hop up and get some lemonade, but I'll be right back.
Corey, we wouldn't. Okay, he's gone. But I wanted to say that Corey is a great guy. We wouldn't have the MK Annihilation script if it wasn't for him. So while he's getting lemonade, maybe you can retrieve that for us.
Let's see. Oh yeah, is this?
All you have to do is
I got it here.
Find the script and then go all the way to the one page.
Yep.
How'd you do it so fast? God, this guy is incredible. Look at this. He went through the whole script and got to that one part.
There we go.
You are something else.
Getting faster. You know, that's the joy with these streams.
Look at that. All right, do you want to read the part of Shinnok or Quan Chi? No, wait. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
They don't have any lines, do they? Oh, Shinnok has the line.
Yeah.
Sorry, lemonade break.
Oh no.
That's
by all
okay.
means, get your lemonade on, man.
But look what we have. Look what we have up on the screen
Yes.
now. This is from your
I can't
script.
see. Okay, let me.
Right here.
Thank you, Jasper.
Yeah, this is so good.
By the way, I want. Oh, sorry. Are we watching the clip?
No, not yet. We're just still showing.
Oh,
the
I want
script that
to
everybody
tell you guys too a little story about, to segue from Mortal Kombat. Power Rangers. Justin knows that a lot of the events that I do are with Mortal Kombat with Power Rangers, and I am single-handedly responsible. I own a 35mm film print of the Power Rangers movie, and I was able to get a hold of Fox, and the way we had to book the movie when we did the screenings was through me. It was very difficult, but the point is, the Power Ranger fans are kind of like the Mortal Kombat fans when it comes to the movie. There's only a DVD, and it's terrible quality. And finally, for the low price of $200, Fox went in and found the negatives because of my doing and are mastering a Blu-ray, which is coming out with a set in a couple of months. And so they added a bunch of stuff that I helped Shout Factory go through. So the best way to get an anniversary edition of Mortal Kombat or Mortal Kombat Annihilation is to get a hold of Shout Factory. All you fans, Total MK, Jasper, Outworld, all you guys, go to shoutfactory.com, get their email, talk about these interviews. Go to my YouTube page for moviedude18. Look at those Q&As. They're hour-long Q&As on the stage with the cast, and let them know that you want to see a special edition. Because Shout Factory works with Warner Brothers, and they get these things done where I can get Robin and Linden, I can promise them all the beer in the world, and they'll come in and they'll do a commentary, and we'll get them together. And I'm telling you, I did it with Power Rangers. I love Power Rangers, but I love Mortal Kombat more. So get on Twitter, get Shout Factory, say Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat. Email them, tell them why you love it, how you'll buy 6 copies of it just to have. You'll buy the steel book, you'll buy the 3D re-release, whatever they want to do. That's so important because these cast members are willing to like Robin, you'll hear later, has thousands of storyboards from the movie that I've seen that are never been released. There's some good stuff we have here. Justin pulled the TNT special, which you're about to hear from Larry. there's a lot of stuff that we can all pull and put together and make a great disc.
Oh yeah.
And I want that for the
honestly,
fans.
I know where everything is. I know where the TNT. There's a special that was on TNT called Behind the Dragon. There was some stuff released on the Ultimate Guide to Mortal Kombat CD-ROM. There was that book called Behind the Scenes of the Mortal Kombat movie. There was a special that was released on Mortal Kombat: The Journey Begins, like a 45-minute thing afterwards. My favorite part of that was after Robin Shou does like a backflip and everybody's holding up signs saying like 9, 9.5, and 10, like they're rating how good his flip was.
Yeah.
There's one more thing, and it was on like a DVD, but only in Spain for some reason, like other B-roll footage that was never released anywhere else. Like I kind of know where everything is at, and oh, the audio commentary, it's on the Laserdisc. They have all these special features that are out there, and that who would ever be able to compile them all, and who would ever like be able to assemble them all and put them on one disc? Probably Shout Factory, which I didn't know how you.
Is where you.
And speaking of shouts, I got to give a shout out to you, Corey, because it was at your first event at the Chinese theater that I went to. That was the first event that I went to of yours, where I was just standing around listening to people talk about what you did for Power Rangers and about how you made it happen, about how you were on them, about finding the super high quality version, about how the only transfers that existed were poor quality and didn't do the movie justice, and you were out there pushing for it, and you created like a fan interest and then made it happen. So if you did that for Power Rangers.
Look, I'm just gonna. I don't mind that this is on the stream, but guys, my real name, and I know I'm against it, it's Corey Kory Davis, and my Facebook URL is /KORYS as in Sean Davis. And if you guys want to send me a friend request, I will happily accept. Twitter's hard for me to follow, but I'll follow back. But like anything you guys think, messages you can send me, I can send to Shout Factory. I'm in their ear a bit. Corey S. Davis, KORYS Davis.
There you go.
There you go.
And I just put a link out into the stream so people.
I saw it. I see it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to Larry though, because he dodges this ending. Which, speaking of which, Larry was a hypocrite. He's like, we want to put a special edition out, but he won't be willing to release this ending. But let's watch Larry dodge this ending really quick, Ryan.
All right.
I have to ask, do you think we'll ever see, we know it was confirmed, it was in the script, the ending, and I asked you this 10 years ago. Let's see if you say the same answer. But that ending with Quan Chi and Shinnok at the end.
And not talk about future Mortal Kombat movies.
Okay, that's what I figured. But that was a past one. That's already been filmed.
No. There's.
I mean, there was a third. There was supposed to be a third one, right?
There's nothing I can recall in either movie that was an actual scene that was cut. I mean, we trim things when you shoot, but no, there was nothing we planned that I can recall that we didn't put in.
Okay, except for like just one-liners that might have been in a scene.
I mean, you edit scenes.
Down.
There wasn't like, oh, the big scene that then never made the movie that we didn't have.
Looking back.
All right, so there you have it. Like right there is Larry saying, yeah, we put everything in the movie. Everything is pretty much there. But then he really dodged that question because we got a really great answer from Robin about that last scene as well.
Yeah.
So.
And I just think it's funny how when you ask him about it, it's like, well, I don't discuss future movies. You're like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, and then I love
current movie.
Yeah, I said that's a past movie. Yeah. Larry opened up a lot more than I thought he would, and you have to understand that with sorry about my dog, guys.
Okay.
You have to understand that with Larry, he didn't want to do it. It was kind of like we actually did Robin first, but I wanted to do Larry first on the stream. But he was pretty much leaving, and I don't think if I had made, an impression on him beforehand, that he would have sat down and done it. He was like, "Who's this for? Who's this for?" And I was like, "It's just for this little Mortal Kombat thing that I do. I just talk about Mortal Kombat, and it's called Mortal Kombat Online." And he had never heard of it, but he sat down.
Yeah.
I'm sure
think he actually did. I just don't think he wanted to admit it.
Yeah, I just think he's, whatever. So he was being a little bit, you know, I think that, I don't know. I think that he was just excited that I loved Annihilation.
Well, look, Corey, I gotta hand it to you. I love the fact that you got a hold of the Annihilation script. You found out that the Quan Chi and Shinnok scene is part of it. You have it. We have it right here on the stream for everybody to see, and you were able to tell Larry right to his face, "I know it's in there."
I even said to him, didn't I? That like I even said like, I've already talked to Robin. He you know, he was there that day, and he's just like, well, backpedal. You know, it's pretty funny.
Yeah. All right. So look, some other cool things that Larry talked about during the interview are the special effects with Annihilation.
And the test screening, which I have more to add to this, but yeah, the reason why that animality looks so bad, and I believe him, it's not Larry's fault. I know this from an effects team. I've known this, but Justin, I beat you to some knowledge that is power. You didn't
I hate to burst your bubble here, buddy. I actually heard the same thing. It was published in a book called Lights, Camera, Game Over. So I had read the same thing. But
sure, okay.
But it's out there.
Ryan, go for it. Hit it, buddy.
Let's hit it. Let's get to it.
Looking back at the first film and the second film, what's one thing that you would have liked to have added or taken away?
The second film, I feel, as the producer, who's a bit of a perfectionist in this area, that we never really got to finish the effects. I was never.
Please talk about. I was actually hoping you would go there, because here's the thing. We all know that the animality scene isn't the greatest CGI explosion in the world, but the thing is, I love it. I love the Hydra, but Liu Kang's dragon looks a little...
Here's what happened. You know, Mortal Kombat became so successful. Remember, it wasn't just movies and video games. It was TV shows, DVDs. This was the first... this was the first electronic dance music album that went platinum. It became so successful. So when we tested an early cut of the movie where the effects weren't finished, the test scores were through the roof. And New Line said, "Congratulations, we're hit, we're done." I'm like, "We're not done, we haven't finished the effects." They said, "These numbers, you finished, buddy." And it did open number one. You gotta understand, Annihilation,
16.5 million.
Annihilation beat Anastasia. It beat Clint Eastwood.
Well, that's part of...
It beat Clint Eastwood's Midnight in the Garden of Evil. So, from a business point of view, New Line was right. It was done. From a perfectionist producer point of view, we never finished the effects.
So there you go, Larry flat out like addressing the elephant in the room with the bad special effects in the movie, and then saying, "Hey, you know, those were never actually done." I think that was a really good question. It's great that Larry gets to go on the record and defend his point of view on that, and I think he is being honest. I think he's being totally honest. I think Larry would have put together a much better movie if New Line didn't hurry him up.
That was consistent with, like I said, some of the other quotes that we've seen. Some of the things that moviedude18 found from the special effects crew. Some of the things the guys...
What I find really interesting is that he mentions there's a test screening. And like I said, you know, I don't think anyone's going to see it, and I don't think anyone's going to care. But I've seen the new Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis. And I'm under an NDA, so I can't say anything about it. But I can say that I've seen it. I saw it about 3 months ago. But, like, I'm surprised that Mortal Kombat Annihilation tested high. I mean, you know, a lot of times when you go to these, like Halloween or Friday the 13th or something that's got a fan base to it, a lot of times they pull normal people who aren't super fans. So I would have to say that that's kind of surprising to hear. And I believe Larry when he says it did test really well. Because, like, I mean, when you go to these test screenings, you're like at that Halloween screening, everyone's so pumped up, you know, they're like, oh my god, I'm a diehard, I'm a whatever, I'm in this and that. And so the crowd they're always, the way that you rank a test screening is that if it's excellent, it was probably pretty good. If it was pretty good, it was okay. If it was okay, it was bad. And so for New Line to say, all right, well, we're testing it and it was through the roof, and I believe it, but I mean, ouch. You know.
It is interesting because nowhere did we ever hear that there was a test screening of Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Like, this is new information. Like, despite the fact that we all knew...
You're welcome.
Yes. No, this is what I'm saying. This is what I say, like, the interviews that you guys did, they were a huge success.
And
like,
notice how that comment, I don't think he would say that, but that comment just slipped out of his mouth. out of Larry's mouth.
Very off the cuff, very, guards down. Like, this is how you get the real story. It was just great stuff, man. Great stuff. Great answers, great questions, great participation from everybody involved all around. So is there anything else that we have of Larry?
There's one more thing with Larry, and this is where I'm going to test, and I'm very nervous about this, guys, because I love all you guys in the chat room. This is great. And
I got your back on this one, buddy.
I know you guys got my back, but here's the thing. To me, I went to film school. I went to college and for 5 years. No, I'm just kidding. No, but the thing is there's a difference between a movie that's a great movie, like Vanilla Sky with Linden, great movie, well-made movie. American Beauty, well-made, great movie. Deep Blue Sea, great action movie. Die Hard. But then you have movies like Showgirls. And then you have movies like Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which are like that sloppy grilled cheese sandwich you got in the 5th grade. They're so delicious, but they're so not good at all.
Yeah.
And I made it a point to defend Annihilation, and I hope you guys don't hate me too much, but I hope you understand, when I was 7 years old growing up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the first ever stadium seating theater opened up on November 21st, 1997. And I don't know if this is in the video you're going to see, but the point is, it was the first time it was in their big screen, 500 seats. And so Annihilation gets way more of a stamp of nostalgia than it should for me.
Right.
But when I look at the movie, I can't sit here, and I think, Justin, you can attest when you watched it with a big audience at its 20th anniversary, there was some kind of thing about it 20 years later that you gave it a few more points than you ever did. And
the energy at your place, at your screening, there was something there that really heightened everybody's appreciation for Annihilation, more than I ever would have thought possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Annihilation was, when at 14-year-old me, when I saw that in theaters, I was...
How do you put a tattoo on a robot?
Yeah, I was like, I am not on board with this. But seeing it with you at your Chinese theater, with the actors there, with that crowd that you had that night, there was like a deeper appreciation than I ever would have thought possible. And I see where you're coming from now.
And me and Robin were sitting next to each other, and we were dogging on the animality scene. We were making fun of it, but there's a firm reason why, and you'll see in this last clip with Larry, why I feel like, just play the clip. Play the clip of why I defend Annihilation.
Here we go.
Here it comes.
I'm going to give a public defend on Annihilation, because I feel like by 1995 we had only really had the first 2 games. We only had like 12 characters to work with. And the fans want this, and the fans want Cyrex, and they want Melina, and they want this, and they want that. And ultimately, 1997 rolled around, we had Mortal Kombat Trilogy. You're talking almost 50 characters. How do you in 90, 100 minutes put in, and if you don't put them in, they're going to complain, and if you don't do it... So yes, there's faults and there's mistakes on every movie, but I have to say that I would rather see Cyrax kick ass for 7 minutes, or Melina in a mud fight with Sonya, or Scorpion and Sub-Zero fight each other in an epic 2-minute battle, than not see it at all.
That's exactly right.
That's kind of how I feel.
You gotta pick. Being a producer or something like that is being a really good editor. You gotta pick, and you just gotta pick what you
Does that feel a little good to hear from you?
That's great. Thanks, buddy. You should come around every place I go.
There you have it, right there. I mean, you saw Larry, like when you said, "I'm gonna give a public defend," and you started talking. Larry's like, "Oh," and he pats you on the back.
I think he jizzed in his pants there.
Yeah, he had like a proud moment, you know.
But the point is like, look, guys, and I've talked about this with Justin in fun, fair, friendly arguments. But like, I feel like in Annihilation, when I was 7 years old, you've got mythologies out, you've got trilogy, you've got MK4, you've got all these other things going on. We've established 50 characters at this point, versus by 94, when they're filming this movie, we've only had the first 2 games. And so, what exactly can you do? By the time 97 rolls around, Shinnok's overruling everyone. How do you make a movie that backpedals, and then is Shou Kahn going to be the villain? And then is he going to be the villain again for the 3rd movie? And it backpedaled. And the way that I see it is, There's so many of my favorite characters. So one of the biggest things is that Cabal and Stryker are in the script as characters.
Yeah.
They have dialogue. They have multiple scenes. I would have loved to have seen that. But look, I would love to see Melina pop out of nowhere and have a mud fight with Sonya, or Cyrax fight in a laboratory, than not see them at all. And let's be honest, we can't make some 2.5-hour movie where we really get to know who Cyrax is as a person.
Right.
You know, we can't.
I want to give you credit for something else. Look, in that clip, off the top of your head, and you did it again just now, right before that clip started, but you're talking about the release date, you're talking about the numbers that pulled in. I happen to have here a VHS copy of Annihilation, and if you look closely, it's a promotional copy, and it says it on the back too, promotional use only. So I've got one of these rare screener things, and on the back right there, it says #1 box office opening weekend. And it even mentions how it beat Anastasia. And it talks about the dollars. It talks about how it pulled in $16.8 million. And Anastasia, the runner-up, only got $14.1 million. Like, everything that you said is verified right here on this tape. And it's just crazy to me how you rattled that off. And we didn't talk about that beforehand. We never said, like, going into the interviews, like,
no,
hey,
remember, guys, Larry was not necessarily wanted there by all the MK fan people there. But
we didn't know Larry was going to be
I got there and I walked in and I saw Linden sitting there, and I go up to Linden and I'm like, Kenny, Scott, Corey, what's up, man? And he's like, oh, you know Larry. And I'm like, oh, and in my head I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like I knew this was gonna be like a little bit of like drama.
You came right in, and you're like, Ryan, Larry's here.
I texted Justin and I was like, oh my God, Larry's here.
At first, I was
but
like,
I'm just thinking, that's
like,
cool. The more, the merrier.
No, we were excited, but like, it's just like I said, as a producer, when you have that look, it's obvious. When you have that many miscasts and you have a problem with the second movie, you're gonna lean on production and producers. Do I think it was all Larry? No, but I know enough to know from people in the MK world that there's just a little bit of they're not best friends. They're just not best friends.
Right.
You know, and that's okay.
Yeah,
everyone was there and had a great time and had fun and talked and mingled with everyone.
Yeah.
So that's great.
It was awesome. And then the next one we have, I believe.
Oh, wait a minute.
Trivia.
Oh, we have another trivia, don't we?
Yeah, every before we switch to a new person, I kind of like to use this time to say, hey guys, here's a new opportunity for a giveaway. So if that's it for Larry Kasanoff and the surprise Q&A we got from our unexpected guest there.
And so don't hate me for my Annihilation views, please.
They're
a lot better than my political ones.
No one's going to hate you for that, buddy.
Okay.
Maybe just a little. All right, so.
Next one up for grabs.
You got it. You got it, buddy. All right, here's what I want to know. Mortal Kombat, the movie, was released in August of 1995, but that was pushed back because originally it was supposed to come out even earlier, right? They had to go back and add
this away. Okay.
No, you didn't. No,
I did. I did.
I want the month and the year of the original release date. You didn't give it out as much as you thought you did. You're safe. So whoever says the month and the date is going to win this next one, whoever's first to say it. I don't want a season, though. I'm looking for a month. And don't get it wrong first. I don't want to see like 5. Oh. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Because it's actually not correct. I searched it. It's not correct.
It's not correct. No one's gotten it yet.
But come on. It's close. It's close.
No.
All right, well, I'm going to allow you the opportunity.
Oh, no. See Busy LOL got it.
See Busy?
See Busy LOL.
It's March 1995?
Yes.
March 1995. See Busy. See Busy is a winner. He gets the signed photo. So See Busy, I'm adding you to the notes. Again, contact us. Whisper us on the Twitch page. Not publicly, just PM us.
You can also friend me on MySpace.
Yes.
You found the poster with the original release date out in the wild not too long ago, did you not?
Me?
Yeah, movie dude. You found the
No.
poster. Oh.
No, but I found an old email between me and Paul while I was doing my stuff that was talking about March. It just said March. I don't know what day.
Yeah, that's okay. We were only looking for the month for the trivia question. Well, that's awesome, man. That is very cool that you got that, C Busy. So look at this. We are giving away prizes left and right over here. A lot of cool, rare, exclusive, autographed photos.
And keep in mind, these are all going to get sent out next Wednesday, because that's when I have my next day off for my 9 to 5, because I work crazy hours. So we're sending them off next Wednesday for you. So you will get your prizes around that time. That's when I'm shipping them now. Some of you probably live in all different parts of the world, so
they will note that it might take 2 to 3 months to get there, as it will be sent through carrier pigeon. But
I'll try my best to get actually tracking numbers out to all of you. So just
the tracking is pretty nice.
Yes, that way you guys know exactly where everything is. So I'm really good about that.
All right, so we got to get to the main man here. There's no debating that the image, the face, the person of Mortal Kombat is Robin Shou.
The grand champion.
He's our 2-time champion. I got to tell you that I first met Robin when I first met Paul and Mila back at the Resident Evil Retribution premiere back in 2012. And he had short hair. I had too many margaritas, and then I cried after I met him. Thank you to the alcohol. But he is hands down. I mean, I've worked with Mark Wahlberg, Brad Pitt, some people that you would think are not that nice. Some of them aren't. But let me tell you, Robin Shou is a family man. He's a class act. He loves Mortal Kombat. He owns it. I mean, when we're texting sometimes, he just throws in quotes from the movie for no reason whatsoever. And he's just a great guy. And so this interview, which we'll put everything up in its entirety, was 30 minutes. But we picked out, 10 moments or 12 moments. But this is when you get someone who, unlike, with Chris Casamassa, who couldn't really open up about the third movie, Linden was kind of clueless about the third movie. This is when you're going to get a lot of things that you didn't know about fight scenes, the sets, some pretty cool stuff. He wasn't even there for the Baraka fight. He wasn't even there. It was Tony Jaa with a wig. So I guess we should get to Robin Shou's auditioning and how he got the role.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go.
Let's do it.
When you got the job, at what point did you start playing the game? Did you play the game? Was Liu Kang your favorite character?
Before I jump onto about that, is that on the audition process, I went in. My first meeting was with the director Paul Anderson and the casting director, and also Larry Kasanoff, the producer. And then so we were just kind of talking, and to be honest, I never heard of him. Because I was working in Hong Kong.
At that point, it was only a couple of years old.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I never heard of him. So then I wasn't exactly thrilled about the movie because I knew they wanted the Asian guy to do kung fu, and I hated the stereotypical type of character where you kind of make fun of the Asian character, the ninja. So then anyway, Larry was saying, "Oh yeah. What style of martial arts do you do?" I said, "Well, I go in the Shou side, Chinese martial arts." And then he said, "Yeah, we have a guy who does this exact same style as you, and his picture is right there on the wall." And I turned around, look at this guy who had this clearly Japanese, in a Japanese gear, Hapkido gear, and I go, "Excuse me, I know we look alike to you, but he's Japanese and I'm Chinese."
Yeah, there's a difference.
So no, I know, but what I'm saying is that I went in to the audition with a sort of chip on my shoulder because I'm extremely proud of what I do, like martial arts
You are.
and everything. So
He puts everything, whether it's his kid's birthday party or a movie, he puts everything into it.
And then but that's a funny thing. That's a funny story. I always tell people that because a lot of time not just ethnicity confusion, like the martial art. Because martial art is basically my life. It is my life, and I want people to know about the different type of martial arts. So when I got the part as Liu Kang, I didn't know it was going to be this sort of have this kind of impact.
awesome. That's such a great interview. You know, like that worked out so well, and with how he ended up getting the interview and how he came in with a chip on his shoulder, just great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, you know. We talked about Keith was auditioning for it too, his good friend, but I really don't think that I could see anyone else. It'd be hard. I mean, it'd be hard.
I agree.
I think, and I love that, you know, years later, you know, his son like runs around with his shirt off and pretends like he's Liu Kang, and it's just like, and then I remember one time, yeah, he did it, and Robin's wife was like, "Put your shirt back on, Brandon. Put your shirt back on," and he's like, "No, Daddy always gets to have his shirt off in movies."
That's great.
Well, I'm sure if Robin were here right now, he would say with a straight face, "I am the chosen one."
Oh yeah, no, he's like, "I am the chosen." He gives me that text all the time. He's so entitled, that Robin Shou.
That's great.
All right, well, actually, let's just jump right into him talking about Bridget Wilson, working with Bridget.
Absolutely, that's another great.
Oh, you love Bridget. You just can't wait. Every time you even talk about her, that's like
No, you know what's funny is I have to point out really quick that when I've done these events, except for Annihilation where we had Sandra and Musetta, there's like they never talk about Bridget, and except for one thing that Robin always says is that she just wasn't a good fighter. Almost as if like he didn't really miss her, but maybe loved her and liked her or whatever. But that like with choreography and versus with Linden, I know why he left and why it wasn't there. With Bridget, I don't really know why she didn't come back or if she was asked back. Maybe Larry was just like, well, screw it. I almost said the F word. He said, screw it. But like, you know, we'll just not bring Bridget back either, and we'll get Sandra. I don't know in that situation, but here he is talking about Bridget.
There you go.
With Bridget and Linden as you guys being a triple threat together, you know, Bridget, we know, retired and went off and getting married and with Sampras but you, Linden, Chris, Keith, I've seen you guys now at 8 events and it's great. But how was Bridget as an actress? She doesn't have a Twitter either. She's kind of just disappeared. So
really nice girl, really super nice girl. But again, she was 19.
She was very young.
She was 19 years. Was it 19?
Yeah.
So she was really young. Her mom was there. So her mom was out in Thailand with us.
Okay.
So I think her sister came later. So it was a family event for her, like kind of thing, you know. So then she just kind of mixes really well. I mean, she's 19 years old, really curious. I think it was beginning of her career also.
It was.
So,
and that year she had the Adam Sandler movie, Billy Madison, and it was a big, she just blew up in a year.
Exactly. Well, was it, what's that?
Oh yeah, Last Action Hero. That was 94. That was the year before. You're right. Forgot about that one.
So then, she's nice. She's together. So then we just kind of like, and all of us are really down to earth anyway. Even the entire cast was like really simple people. We're not complicated. We don't
I can tell you're still an IPA guy.
So yeah.
That's really cool. You know, he's like, she's nice. You know, he's building her up. You know, saying good things. But I didn't realize she was that young.
You can just tell, like, you can just tell there's like he liked her and they got along great, but there was something about her in the way that Robin just kind of says that maybe it just she wasn't cut out to do the sequel with what they were trying to do. Like, she was so young, she was this and that, she couldn't really fight.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. There's just a little bit of a.
Yeah.
Justin, what are you doing?
He didn't seem like her biggest fan, did he?
Yeah. No. Exactly.
But you know what? He didn't seem like angry. He didn't seem
No.
Yeah, it just seemed like they never quite clicked for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got that sense from Linden.
Yeah, but here is an interesting trivia for you. They're talking about Bridget.
Surprise.
Well, they're talking about Bridget, and they're talking about her career and how she was in Billy Madison and everything. And it was in that movie, which actually predated her appearance as Sonya. They talk about Mortal Kombat and Billy Madison.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
That's what's so funny about it, is that Sonya is in that movie. She could be in the conversation talking about herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that reference in Billy Madison. Let's go straight into working with Cary Takawa in the final fight, which that's the only thing I hate about the Mortal Kombat movie is the final fight kind of sucks after you come off the reptile fight.
Yeah.
You know, it's not as good of a fight, but whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know, man. Cary actually gets a busted lip for real. Like, that's not staged. That's not fake blood. That's real blood in that fight.
Is it really?
That one little, whatever. He can take it.
Here we go. Here's the clip.
Like, the infight with Cary Takawa, talk about working with him too. I've never asked you.
Oh, awesome. He's
a basic.
He's a badass. You know, of course, like, you know, he doesn't like it, but he's always the older version.
Yeah.
No, because there's like two Asian guys. One Asian guy is a good guy, the other Asian guy is a bad guy.
Yeah.
So that's how they address us. The young one and the old one. He didn't like that. But no, he's super. He's super. Really easy to work with. He just kind of like, we rehearsed a lot.
Oh my God.
Like that we did. Went around in circles.
You know what this is from.
Came up to me and Pat and saying,
It looks familiar. You can't check that in the TSA.
So, you know, we came up with the circular fight, and I just reversed and reversed. I mean, I don't mind reversing. It's just I just kind of constantly reversing.
These movies are just a gym. They're like a gym membership, aren't they?
But
You can pay.
But you know, it's just really easy. Really, he doesn't complain. Nothing.
Nice.
He doesn't have those, you know, we heard like actors who kind of, I can't do this, get a stunt double. And
Yeah.
No, he wanted to do everything. So it was like really easy.
That's awesome. So he really talked up Cary. He said he was a really easy guy.
Cary, like, I hear he's very demanding of salaries and like $10,000 appearance fees and stuff like that. Where Robin, like, if it's for the fans and it doesn't interfere with his family schedule or everything. I've heard that Cary's very much just kind of like, sure, I'll sign, sure, I'll take a photo, move on. Versus Robin, as you've seen, interacts with everyone, answers questions on the fly, and anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta tell you that I actually did like the scene between Robin and Cary a lot. I love that Shang Tsung and Liu Kang final fight.
But yeah, no, let me see that spike again, Justin. I can't believe you. How did you get that? Is this a cosplay remade, or is this from the actual
Is
set?
it really heavy, or is it hollow?
It's pretty solid all the way through, but it's not too heavy. It's pretty lightweight. I would say I just got lucky that back in the day, after there used to be a lot of movie props from the first film and from Conquest. Those things used to be all over eBay. So I snagged one while I did. I maybe have one or two things from MK Conquest from this set when they closed it down as well.
So that's actually from the set. That's insane.
Yeah, this is actually from the set. This is not a cosplay. This is not a remake. This is actually one of the ones that you would have seen on screen.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
In fact, that's one of the things that I meant to ask the cast. Like, I would have loved to know, like, hey, did you guys keep anything? You know? Did they keep anything for the film? That's... Because stuff like this, man...
Would you have Cary sign that? As a follower and as a fan, I wonder how much you'll stray away from actually covering a little bit of DOA or Virtua Fighter, Street Fighter, whatever.
Yeah, good stuff.
But Robin was also in the Street Fighter movie, which is a piece of trash. And he knows it, and he's asked me to do a screening of it.
Yeah.
He's asked me to do a screening of it to make fun of it. But the point is we have a little bit of a clip together where it just talks about his relationship with Paul Anderson, with director of Mortal Kombat.
Oh, nice.
So good. And how he was put into the Dead or Alive movie and the Street Fighter film.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. So here we go. The Tekken and...
Hey, Justin.
Good stuff.
Justin.
Yeah.
I love you.
Awesome. Here we go.
You went on to do Tekken. You went on to do a Street Fighter movie. You went on to do Dead or Alive with Paul. You know, Paul probably called you over and said, "I have beer. I want to give you it."
I know. I have beer. This is an excuse for you to come over to hang out with me. I said, "Yeah, I'll do it." It was like a week of work.
Yeah.
I got paid a lot of money.
You were
for
the
that.
pirate captain.
Yeah,
right?
no. And of course, funny thing is that Corey Yuan directed the movie.
Oh yeah.
So then anyway, so Paul and Jeremy really fought to have me on the show. So when I went over, because the entire script, the entire film is in English, so then they wanted the pirate leaders to speak English.
Yeah.
So turned out once I got there, they switched it, saying, "Oh, you can speak Chinese now." I said, "What did you get me over here for?" "That's what I said, Corey. I don't know why they want you."
Oh, wow.
And pay
Well,
you all this money.
Paul made the call on that.
Yeah,
one,
no, I
think.
know. So he just wanted, it's just an excuse for him to hang out with me.
Yeah.
So I had a blast. I really love
So that's another fun fact. Like, Robin was casted for that role just to literally hang out with Paul W.S. Anderson. Like, how cool is that? That's insanely awesome.
For a week and we'll have beers and you'll film some scenes.
Yeah.
But
But,
Fade-O-Cade.
Yeah.
He's not doing it for the money.
No,
He's doing it for a shitload of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the thing is, like, I actually love the Dead or Alive movie. A lot of it's not that great, but there's some great fight sequences in that. And Paul did produce it.
Right.
You know, the Van Damme Street Fighter movie's all right, but like, Justin Ryan, and you guys, message me on here if you can hear me.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite video game movies? What's your number one video game movie outside of Mortal Kombat?
Oh, you made it hard. Okay.
Favorite, or off the top of your head?
Rampage.
Super Mario Brothers.
I would say Super Mario Brothers as well. What about you guys? Silent Hill's a good one.
Silent Hill's decent.
I mean, Paul obviously went on to do the Resident Evil movies. I would really like the first one. I love the second one, and I love the sixth one.
Yeah.
So Street Fighter. Okay. See, this is great, interactive. Okay. What do you guys think is the worst video game movie? I don't know. Okay, and then final question in this series of questioning: what video game above all others that, and doesn't matter how old it is, that is not a video game that you would love to see made into a really big, huge, epic movie? What video game outside of Mortal Kombat, outside of Street Fighter, something that hasn't been done?
That's a good question. I don't know.
It's hard to imagine that a game like Pac-Man or something like that would make a good movie. Some people in the chat were talking about how Threshold Entertainment is going to do Tetris.
I saw that.
Honestly, I think they could really turn they could probably just slap the name Space Invaders or Asteroids on it and turn those into a really cool sci-fi film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, did anyone online or anyone of you guys see the Tekken movie? The one that was rated R. It was rated R, and I love that.
Yeah, I have it. I have it on DVD.
Now, did you see the second one? Because that one's terrible.
I haven't seen that one yet. What did you think about it? Is it good?
It's not really a Tekken movie. It was something else that was written into what they turned into a Tekken movie. But for the most part, I've enjoyed most video game movies. I did like Silent Hill, and but one last video game question, specifically with racing. We've had Need for Speed, which I thought was great with Aaron Paul, but out of all the racing games, simulators, street racing, I would love to see Midnight Club Street Racing 2, or I would like to see Crazy Taxi.
Here's why Mario Kart. Because you bill it as a sequel to the Super Mario Brothers movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Daisy goes to Mario and Luigi, says, "You have to come with me. You're never gonna believe this." And Mario's like, "I believe. And then they get there, and it's a Mario Kart racing. It's a go-kart thing, and Mario's like, "Okay, I don't believe it.
Nice. All right. So there was a thing I think you have a picture of, right, Justin, about Robin's contract that was in an article.
Yeah. It's Fade-O-Cade.
And it says that he signed three movies.
Fade-O-Cade, can you find that Game Pro magazine where Robin Shou says, or it's said about Robin Shou that he had a 3-picture deal? That's what I want to throw up on the screen.
Is this it here? Let me see. It's from GamePro, right?
Yep.
There it is.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
Look at that.
So it's not in quotes, but it says.
Can you
that
zoom
Robin,
in? Can you zoom in at all? Is that possible?
Oh, let's see. I don't think I can, no.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. It basically just says that there's going to be a third one if this one does well and Robin's contracted. But let's see if Robin can clarify that for us, Ryan.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look here with the next clip, right? Get that ready, and here we go.
When you did the first movie, did you sign a deal that it was 1 or 2?
No, we did. I signed a 2-picture deal.
It was a 2-picture deal? So,
So there you go, right there, confirmation 2-picture deal. But then we're seeing it on the PowerPoint, right? That this was it says 3-picture deal, right?
Well, you know what? I would have to go with the actor who signed the contract and not game.
And Robin's quick to answer that one. He's like, nope, I was signed up for a sequel.
Right.
Like.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, look, when you go straight to the horse's mouth, right, and you get confirmation from him, I think you can trust what he says over
right.
fake news.
And that's the thing is when you
Fake
see these
news.
oh wow. So
Fake news.
okay, that's creepy. Turn that off. Okay. The point is that when you see these things completely like 30 minutes of Robin, not just these snippets, you're going to see that he has no reason to lie at this point. He has no reason to exaggerate. His memory's not that foggy. He remembers everything and he's talking about it, especially because it's me.
Yeah.
And we're homies and we know how to chug beer together. So.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, no, I trust them. You know what? GamePro maybe got their facts wrong. Not the end of the world.
Here we go.
So, okay, Annihilation, you know, Linden was kind of out, Rick was out, Chris even wasn't a part of it, but you know it's still, I prefer it, and I love it in every way, because it's awesome. But anyway, no, what about Talicia? You know, you worked with her twice in both of these. You guys were the returning duo of the franchise.
Well, I call her my sister because, like, she's Puerto Rican. And then she's very deep in family culture. Like, she loves people. And she calls me brother, I call her sister. We know each other so well. She's really honest, really genuine, loving, kind. And yet she's a tough. So you don't have to be, like, really careful. Like, you're meaning, like, you can joke with her. Like, like, she can take it.
She's sarcastic.
She's very sarcastic.
She comes across as sarcastic.
And also, I don't know if you know that, she does an amazing Scarface accent.
No, I didn't know that.
Well, she did a Scarface imitation of her dialogue. Also, 10,000 years, I've been, you know, off of Talicia.
Oh gosh, she does that.
But she doesn't. She does an Al Pacino Scarface accent, which is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I wish we didn't have cell phone back then, so I couldn't record it. But it was the funniest thing. I mean, she just had with all of it. She's such a simple girl and kind and just...
And that's why I think in 2002 she retired and
she always wanted to be...
She's married to Benjamin Bratt, right?
She always wanted to have a family. That we know. Constantly. She constantly, every time she sees a little kid, oh, it's so cute, I want one.
So that's really fun. That's like some fun facts about Talicia. Sounds like she's a character.
She sounds like she's a character, but she's just also never talked about. Like, unlike Bridget, who there's always kind of like a semi-negative little speech, Talicia never... But I know that she retired back in 2002. The last movie I saw her in was based on a video game, actually, Ballistic, X vs. Sever. And that was a $100 million Warner Brothers flop. She looked like the kind of guy, and whenever she's really talked about in private, was that she was just a motherly person. She really had no interest. I mean, in the Mortal Kombat movies, I feel like she doesn't have to do too much acting. You know, she didn't really have a fight scene in the first movie, but she has like kind of one with Smoke in the Extermination Squad. But it was nice to know that she's happy and that she's got a family and she's been married for so many years, and so good for her on that end.
Right.
I really did like how in the sequel she brought out her fan as a weapon. I thought that was
those were just in her boots the whole time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was a nice throwback to the games, like what made her katana in the first place. Like that was just cool to see, you know, as a fan of the game.
Do you guys know how Stryker and Cabal? I know it's in the script, but if you haven't read the script, if you're listening to this, do you guys know how Cabal and Stryker were originally used and written as characters in the Annihilation script? I'll give you a couple seconds. Let me know, and then I'll tell you the story if you want to hear it. But you guys, I want to get to know you guys. I've been in this chat board. This will probably be the only time, or maybe for a while, that I'm here. So Total MK, Amp, MK Jasper, all you guys, let me know what's your favorite. Like, so I'll remember this. I have Asperger's. Okay, so what's your favorite game? What's your favorite game and your favorite character from that game? Which Mortal Kombat? Only Mortal Kombat. Is it number 3 and your favorite character is Sindel? Let me know. Be interactive. I'm curious. My favorite number 1 is shockingly Liu Kang. My favorite in 2 is Melina. My favorite in 3 is Cyrax. My favorite is 4 is none of the above. There you go.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm still.
I gotta say, I'll tell you this: for gameplay, I always love picking Shang Tsung. I love being.
Oh, you're a show off, aren't you? I can't wait to play Justin so bad in this Combat Con.
It won't happen, man. I do the morphs. I do all the special moves. I mix it up. You can't.
Yeah, but the thing is what I'm going to do is I'm going to stab you in the eyes before you can play. So you have to play blind.
Oh, wow.
That will make it difficult. That will make it difficult, yeah.
Awesome.
Are you guys still there in the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We're chat. We're seeing all the favorite games, favorite characters. People are piping up with it.
Oh shit! I scrolled down. There we go. Hey, that's awesome. Awesome, guys. I'm reading this. I'm 34. MK Scorpion. Mortal Kombat 1 is my favorite.
I think I got it fixed.
Would you guys all agree with me that Kentaro is the hardest character to beat of all time? Would you guys agree with that?
Oh, well, there's a streamer who's actually in this stream right now chatting with us, Outworld.
Yes.
And he knows.
Yes, I am coming to Combat Con, by the way. I will definitely be there, and we'll talk a bit more about trying to get Robin and maybe some of the other people there in a minute.
Yes. And Outworld knows exactly the pattern to get Kentaro. He can do a flawless on him. And he, especially in MK2 Revision 2.1, where he'll pick Raiden and do a roundhouse teleport, roundhouse teleport, roundhouse teleport, do that infinite combo. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, Corey, you were watching me play in the California barcade, man. And
when Ryan was out here, man, he could get flawless victories and get all the way to Kentaro, and then man, did he suck.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I could never.
At that point, it got hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't figured.
But the thing is Shao Kahn is so much easier.
Yeah, he is.
See, this is so much fun. We're just talking about Mortal Kombat as if it's just something so much fun to do. So I love that. I love not being business about it.
Yeah.
But speaking of being all business about it, we do have another clip. I think we have one. Yeah. How many more do we have?
We only have like 5, so we're almost done. Here's the deal, guys. With Robin being the choreographer of all the fight scenes and everything, I wanted you guys to know, unlike Hollywood Today, which as a filmmaker I'm really disgusted with, the sets in this movie were practical. There was very little wire work. There was very little green screen. And so this is Robin talking about the choreography and the sets of both movies. And it's some really interesting insight on how he had to choreograph the fights around the sets. So go ahead and put that up, Ryan.
Oh, yes, of course, the choreography with the sets. Let's get that interview loaded.
Cabal was a bigger badass in MK3. They toned him down for Ultimate.
He got nerfed.
But yes, I agree.
Got nerfed.
Here we go.
Going into Annihilation, you were the full-on choreographer. Right. You talked a bit about choreography, but like, just when the sequel came about, how did you sign up for what? When did you say, all right, well, I'm back? I mean, what was your mind like when Linden's out? Let there be light. But Linden's out, we're just in, but once you got the pegs together, and this is what we're doing, and the amazing, I have to say, Musetta Evander and especially Sandras, right. Just sweethearts, delights, and have not aged a day either. Right. There's twice as many fights in the second movie. what was there challenges going in as a choreographer, an actor?
Well, I
What
mean,
were-
of course, I was heartbroken when I heard Linden was in it.
Yeah, I think I was 7 and
Christopher
I
Lambert.
asked for ice cream. So.
And they were like replacing Bridget, and of course, I mean, I got to know these guys really well, so of course, like you want to go on, continue the journey together. So when I heard Linden wasn't in, I was like, oh, why? But then I couldn't do anything. I'm just an actor. But when they came to me and asked if I would choreograph the film, of course, like I love that more than acting, to be honest, because choreography is really an art. It's like directing.
Yeah.
So then, so it was challenging because we have to top the first movie.
Did you know when it comes to one thing that a lot of the fans asked when they sent out to ask questions was about the sets. So when you're fighting, when you're setting a fight scene, you have to use those sets. You have to use that wall, those stairs.
I was involved in designing the set because each area of the set there's a specific reason for that set. Like I was hands-on developing.
Hang on a second. Ryan, Keith.
I think you like 5 minutes. I think this.
Yeah, I know. Give me 2 more. But yeah. But no.
No. Because, like,
I'm listening. I just don't.
For the Scorpion fight, I was really hands-on designing Chris set, and I was really hands-on designing on the.
See, that's amazing. But that comes from something I learned the other day, last week, a few weeks when I saw you, was that you're an engineer.
Yeah.
That's kind of like.
Well, and
I don't
also,
think
like,
anyone knows that.
I've been doing these action movies for so long, because I always believe it's not about the fight, it's the storytelling and where you're at. I always believe in using the environment.
That was such a great interview right there. I mean, he's talking about everything, and I like how we got that little snippet in there of Corey going, Ryan, Keith. Everything was so chaotic at the event.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah.
Like seriously, Fatal Cade, if you turn around and blink, you might miss Keith Cooke's interview because he's reptile and he can turn invisible.
Right.
Oh wow!
Even as Sub-Zero, you turn around and you look again, and he's gone.
Right, but I mean, like everybody was like kind of doing their own thing, and Keith was on his way out, and I had just finished the Chris interview, so Corey was like, "Get Keith," and that's how.
I want to make it clear. Keith was not on his way out. There was a party outside where the fireworks were going off and everything, and so he was going there. But I didn't want to have to go pull him and everything. So I was just like, boom, boom. Boom.
Yeah.
Put it together.
It was a very fast-paced environment.
I mean, that's the thing, and we're gonna get into it a little bit more. So actually, let's just go into the next clip really quick about what was cut from Annihilation. And there's actually one of Nightwolf's crazy tests, and you're gonna find out something that
before we do this, we have your script, Corey. Your script that you got for us has a mention of the spiders. Can you find that one for us, Fatal Cade?
Let's see. I think it's right here.
There's a page of the script that mentions this part of of the Nightwolf's crazy test.
Yeah, and this I believe really freaked Robin out, if I am correct, right, Corey?
Yeah. No. The thing is, I've asked Robin about this because when you watch Annihilation, one of the plot holes that comes to be is like. There's really only 2 tests, and there's supposed to be 3 tests from Nightwolf. There was one, and I don't know if I necessarily even believe if it was shot or not, but it's in the script where Liu Kang wakes up and he's covered in spiders and he's hanging upside down. And his greatest fear is kind of like in Harry Potter 1, where they fall into like the snargle stuff. And the thing is just don't be afraid and you'll be okay. So if he's like not afraid, they'll go away. But you can see in his face, just watch his reaction when I even mention that he's going to be covered in spiders. And then he talks about the Shou fight and how a lot of the fight scenes were cut down, like I mentioned earlier, way back in 2017 when we started the stream. So.
Right. All right.
I'm just playing. All right, go with it.
All right, here we go. We're going to hit the interview.
With the sequel, was there also anything that was left out that you wanted?
Oh yeah, no. Well, oh yeah.
Well,
the
spiders hanging out.
no,
Were you prepared to hang
Remember,
upside down with spiders?
No, well, beside that,
You don't even like to talk about it.
Yeah.
You just like.
beside that,
There's originally
that's
one of
right.
Nightwolf's tests was to hang upside down with spiders.
Yeah, but they kept that, they couldn't get spiders in Thailand. So, but my fight scene with Shao Kahn, we cut a lot of things out.
Okay.
With Shao Kahn, which I really love.
Can you remember anything?
Oh yeah, of course. Remember nowadays, like how Marvel, like the Avengers, how Black Widow does all these spinning, climb up on the guy, climb up on somebody's shoulders, flip, and all that thing. Mm-hmm. We had that, but in the Shao Kahn movie, in the Shao Kahn movie. I did those already, but the studio says that looked like WWE. Mm-hmm. Well, it really depends on how you look at it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then if you add the martial arts move and some of that, it's totally logical. So then, because he's such a strong guy, I figured like he could pick me up with like one hand, so why wouldn't he pick me up and throw me?
Yeah. No, I love that one flip kick, and they'll probably like cut to a video of it and edit what I just said out. But I love when you flip kick over Brian Thompson's head and you flip his body. Right. But that stunt every time I was sitting next to you during Annihilation, I was like, oh, that just. It looks like you really went more.
No, that's one shot. That's a one-shot deal because I run up the wall again, turn around, I kick his face with my left leg, and then scissored his neck with my right leg, and then we do a scissor.
It looks scary.
It's one move.
Wow, just one move. He's like, yeah, it was just one move. Like, no big deal. It's just one move. But when you watch that clip where he literally like flips and lands
and then
Brian Thompson right directly on his head, it looks nasty.
Every time I see that one shot, I'm like, oh my god.
It looks like he broke his neck. You know, I mean, like literally.
It just proves though that in the zaniness of Annihilation and all the character problems and all the production problems from Larry and everything, they were really doing these things. There was real stuntmen, real martial artists, really working their asses off to give a good show.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
Yeah.
And people can miss that when they're watching Annihilation, especially if they're disappointed with certain aspects of the film. They can miss how much effort is actually being put into those fights and how much those guys are really exposing themselves to a lot of danger.
Oh, yeah. And, yeah, I mean, it's
a lot of risk
crazy.
of injury right there.
Oh,
yeah.
Justin, what is your favorite fight scene from Annihilation? And you can't count the Molina fight or the Cyrax fight.
It might be at the end where Jax is fighting Motaro.
Maybe.
Well, I would consider that to all be one fight. That whole trifecta.
But I know it's like an all-out melee, but they all kind of split up. And just Jax versus Motaro,
leftovers
like
are fine with me.
Yeah, right. And I'm gonna make you eat that thing. Yeah, all that stuff.
So good. Okay. Let's actually, Ryan, would it be tricky to skip to number 11 where he talks about the third movie and just go a little out of order for these last few? Because I want to save the one where he talks about an arcade machine and autographing it for like second to last.
Okay.
Because someone might get lucky and get their autographed arcade machine.
We'll see about that.
Oh, interesting. All right, well, I can
Let's
cut to
go to the one where he's number 11.
Do we want to talk about...
that
Can we talk about the Quan Chi and Shinnok scene again? Because that never gets
Yes,
old.
absolutely. No, I don't mind it at all.
So which one are we going to, guys?
Number 11, second to last. No, that's not. We've already done that.
What about the 10th one?
We were at 9.
I mean, he's got storyboards. Do 10 and 11.
10
Just
and
don't
11.
do the next one. Okay. Don't do 9 or 12 yet.
Did you have direct input, or were you
The one about the storyboards.
and everything else with saying there's too many fights?
Oh, no,
there's not enough
it's
fights.
too,
Maybe Molina should say something.
It was too convoluted with character because they were so in a desperate.
Yeah.
I don't know, to add all the character because they don't want to piss off fans. You know, like, you know, so they include all the characters from the games,
See,
but then they don't do anything.
To me it's a catch-22.
Exactly. So
it's like you get to see them, and as a kid when I was 7, it's like that's great. Cyrax, Sonya, and Jay and Jax fight in this awesome factory, and I'm glad I get to see him. But wait, I don't get to know him.
Well,
I don't get to like, know anything about him.
Because I did the choreography. I have 1,000 storyboards for the entire film.
See, this is important information. This is something I'm going to point out because if there's storyboards or things that you have, I, as well as all the fans, we want a DVD or a Blu-ray that has all these special features. Right. Like the alternate ending to Annihilation, which you said you were on set. You just popped up one day, and then they're filming a third movie.
Who's that guy?
It wasn't in the script.
It was? I don't think so.
It was him that was in the early draft, and they took it out.
Okay.
But yeah, so you can prove you were there that day. That ending was filmed, and they were gonna.
I had no idea because I wasn't in. I saw it. I go, wow, okay, what are they doing? Okay.
They even pulled you from like Baraka's fight, and it was Ray Park, right? So most people were
Tony Jaa.
Tony Jaa. It was Tony Jaa, yeah.
Tony Jaa.
Tony Jaa was pretty much the whole Baraka fight.
Whole entire Baraka fight.
Is there any other fights that are like that?
He did my very last kick to Shao Kahn. The little backflip kick.
Oh,
Tony Jaa did.
Was that straight off the ground? There was
straight
no.
Up. He is such an amazing athlete.
How much wire work was involved?
There's nothing.
Like, there's nothing. Like, that was all just, like, straight Tony Jaa doing that kick straight from the ground, and if you watch that again, that's insane.
That kick it's literally, and then it's so good that the editor, Peck Pryor, was like, we have to see it 3 times.
Yes.
Kick. Like, they do that also in Annihilation with the Cyrax fight, where he goes into the wall, it's like,
yeah, it was awesome.
But yes, Justin, what do you want to talk about with the Quan Chi ending? What else do you have to add?
Nothing. I just thought it was really cool that Robin was there to see it, and he can like verify. Like, yeah, I just was on the set, and it's like all of a sudden, hey, who are these guys? What's going on here? Yeah. I just thought that was so cool. Like, yeah, that's independent confirmation, right there.
Yeah.
So which one just played the storyboards?
Yeah, we just did the storyboards where you said he has thousands of storyboards. Corey, is there any way you can contact him and get him to maybe show something? Like put it on like Twitter or give him to you and you can take pictures and put them on Twitter?
I want fans, once again, Shout Factory, all that other stuff. Get it, let it be known that this material is here and I have access to it.
Perfect.
Okay. So let's go to him, number 11, talking about the third movie. We've got Chris, if we can remember way back in 1997 when this started. The year keeps changing. But no, Chris said it was supposed to happen and he had a script, but he can't say anything, which is bullshit. But then there's Linden, saying he'd love to do it, but he never heard of it. Robin, let's see what Robin has to say about it.
All right, here we go.
I guess in the end, you only got to do 2 of these movies. When was there talk of a third movie? If there was, we always heard the title Devastation, like back in like 2004, 2005.
I mean, yeah, there's always been talk, and there's so many like news out there saying like we're gonna do the movie, we're gonna do the movie. But then honestly, it's not.
Was it ever really that close?
I don't know because I'm just an actor.
Yeah.
That's the production side. So Larry Kasanoff would know. I wouldn't know.
Well, he's somewhere, probably hiding from me.
He's
but
probably, yeah.
He knows something.
I'm sure, but then, why wouldn't you do a third one if the first 2 were so successful? Even though the second one was pretty good.
The second one, it still did.
It still did really well.
Job worldwide. Really
Justin, can you hear me? Can they hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Absolutely.
But can they?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say take a cool screenshot because I want this as a screenshot. But whatever.
Oh.
Someone take a screenshot right now.
Got it.
There it is.
Text that to me.
Okay.
Awesome.
Ryan, you're a cutie.
So random. I think I get more compliments from you, Corey, than I've ever gotten from anybody in my entire life. You are just a super nice guy. So.
Thank you. Yeah, Jasper. Doing those dance moves. I wish I had glow sticks.
Corey's got you've got mad dance skills, bro. Like you were busting them out at
Oh,
Universal.
no, he saw me. I can dance.
You can. It's actually another hidden talent I think you have.
Something you're good at, bro.
Ryan's haircuts are A+. So this is funny. Okay, I can't remember who exactly said it, but somebody made a compliment on my haircut. I think it was a compliment. They said that with the do, I look like Jake Lacey from the movie Rampage.
Oh,
Like, you know, you don't talk about the bad guy, right? The brother. Yeah.
that was filmed in your hometown.
It was filmed in Chicago, and it was so cool to see that.
Okay, so we just all saw Robin talk about devastation, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he do the part where he talks about Raiden?
Not yet.
We're
I
saving
think
that.
We're getting
Saving
to
that.
that one, but it's whatever
Okay.
you want next, the arcade or the.
Okay. I want to go to not the ending of the Q&A, but
Number 9.
number 9, which is Robin getting recognized and all that other stuff.
All right.
Someone take a screenshot of me thumbing up with me on the Q&A. This is, dude, you have to understand. I'm such a super fan like you guys. This is so cool. I love Justin and I love Ryan. I love you all.
We love
Mwah.
you too.
Hey,
Okay.
and buddy, you've been a big fan of MK Online for a long
I
time.
have. You
Yes.
guys, this script and Annihilation, I know that this talk is so Annihilation heavy, but like it was the one that I was obsessed with. We all have our own problems.
Yeah.
But like the thing is like, yeah, it's just this is exciting. I'm having so much fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. And I was also I think it's obvious to everybody on the stream.
Don't make it about yourself, Ryan.
I'm just saying, I was a huge fan of Mortal Kombat Online.com from back in the day too. I remember like Tabmock and the whole crew going out for the Shaolin Monks interview, the Deadly Alliance footage, like all that stuff. I was glued to this site and I loved it. And so that's why when I do stuff like this, like I love it. There's a lot of love and passion that goes into it.
Ryan, I'm gonna do a 1-question interview with Ryan here.
Oh god.
I want to know. You came out here to California, you had a blast while we did this together. But, you know, with NetherRealm Studios and Daniel Pacina and all these other things about MK, you're in line, I feel, to maybe be a part of making something, you know, with this career. And Mortal Kombat is the starting point and always been the launching pad for you.
Yeah.
So how is it, you know how I feel about knowing Robin and Linden and Paul, but how does it feel to know that you get to interact with your heroes and have friends like Justin and myself? How does that feel?
It's utterly awesome. That's the only thing I can really say. It's really cool. I think everybody knows that someday I want to work at NetherRealm Studios. I don't think that's a secret to the people watching the stream. I don't think that's a secret to my coworkers at my day job. I don't think that's a secret to anybody that I know that works at NetherRealm. Like, I'd love to get a job doing something there, and it takes a lot of work, and that's a very hard working blue collar group of people in that studio. But that's my dream. That's my dream. I just want a full-time position if I could ever get in there. But I know that that opportunity hasn't came across my table. But if it ever did,
But I have no doubt that it will.
Yeah, I mean, if it ever did, I think everybody would tell me, yes, you need to do this. But, we'll see.
Well, I hope you make it one day, even though that will mean that we can't do the stream together anymore.
Yeah, I know. That would
No, you could all. Well, no. You can do the stream.
Yeah,
but okay.
They would,
Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot to me.
No, like, I would just hand everything off to Tabmock, and he would run it. But, but yeah, I mean, is it ever going to happen? I don't personally think it'll ever happen.
I think, Justin, I think it'll happen, right? We believe in Ryan, right? Send heart emojis right now. Heart emojis in the text chat room. Heart emojis with a wink face and a poo emoji, which is actually chocolate ice cream.
Okay.
But anyway.
Movie dude, you are way too low energy tonight. You need to pick it up.
I know. I'm just pumped.
You gotta keep up, man.
This has been so much fun.
It has.
Okay, so let's get to the clip of Robin, how he gets recognized.
Yeah.
And possibly we mentioned Combat Con, and we can go on that. So
let's do it, man. This is the best clip.
This
is a great clip.
This is the best clip. We saved it for second to last.
Terrific clip. Believe me.
Here we
Believe
go.
me.
people recognize me. That's about it. You know?
Yeah.
And then people will come up to me with soundtracks. Hey, can you sign my soundtrack? I say,
Yeah.
what? You carry a
Well, that's the thing. Have you do you get a lot of fans that ask you to sign the actual video game, the cartridge? Really?
I mean, they
Have you
just-
ever signed an arcade machine?
No. I
Oh,
want it.
let's see if we can do that.
I want it in an
Let's see if
arcade
we
machine.
let's
That would be
let's
really cool.
pop that one.
That would really cool.
Okay, that's a challenge. I'm gonna see what it fell.
If you can find an arcade game.
Oh no! Oh, Combat Con.
Oh, really?
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
all right, okay.
I'll have to. We'll take a flight. We'll tell Andy we're just taking a trip.
There you go, Combat Con, and that was insanely cool. Getting being able to just openly talk about Combat Con, do you think there's any chance we could see maybe Robin appear one of these things?
Wait a minute. Here's to, I mean, because we're almost done with this, but
Yeah.
the point is, there's a lot of stuff that I'll just say that is up to not necessarily Justin or Ryan here, Tabmock or Fatal Cade. I still don't know what Fatal Cade means, but okay.
Like fatal, like fatality and arcade.
Okay, but there's things that I feel like I can do knowing Robin and Linden a bit tougher, but Robin and Paul specifically, getting them to Combat Con. You know, Paul doesn't do any press. He doesn't do a lot of these things. He doesn't do a lot of, he phones in a lot of his interviews. He does a lot of things, but he's come out for me. And I think that if we need to get it done now. And so if anyone is watching this that might be a part of Combat Con, that might be a part of it, whether your name has something to do with the Back to the Future character, I'm just saying, what I'm saying is, I know that in the past there have been plenty of MK actors, like even Sandra Hess wanted an appearance fee, but I talked to her about it, and I was able to have some repertoire with Robin saying, no, you got to do this for Corey, you got to do this for him, and I have done 42 events and I've never paid a single person except the Power Rangers are greedy fucks, and they wanted to get paid. They wanted to take 10% of what they made, and I gave them my 10% because I wanted the fans to have a reunion.
Go Power Rangers!
Yeah. And the thing is, the thing is, I know that Robin is all about the fans, and he loves doing events like this. But when it's convenient, when it's on his time and his family and everything else is there, and I want to let him know that he could fly in on a Friday, that his airfare is taken care of, that if you guys as fans collectively want to put in and we start a GoFund and we just get it. The thing is you can't, I'm just saying, if you want him there, this is what you got to do. You got to talk to the people, talk to Justin, talk to Ryan on social media, and the time is now. A decision needs to be made in the next week or two that we can get him in there Friday, get him back home to his 2 kids on Sunday. And I think that if you get Robin, you'll get Paul. And I think if you get Robin and Paul, you'll get Linden. And I don't think that they'll charge for autographs. I don't think they'll charge for photos. I think that I would want them to do it for autism awareness, as I have autism and everything. And I really think that there's a decent chance. Please don't hate me if it doesn't happen. But the thing is I can't just go to them and say, will you come? And they say, like, well, how am I getting there? They don't need a first-class ticket, but they need a plane ticket and a hotel to stay at. And I think that Robin really wants to sign an arcade cabinet. And I think that what we could do is maybe get Daniel Pacina, Robin Shou, and everything to maybe sign an arcade cabinet, buy a cheap one, invest in it, and maybe auction it off as something. I don't know. The thing is I after working with Justin and Ryan on this, there was definite little hiccups. We wanted to go live. We couldn't. There was other things. The fans you guys were awesome. You guys were so respectful of the fact that it just didn't work out the way that we wanted it to.
Yes. And
it ended up working out the way that I think you now see is great stuff. Can't wait for you to watch the unscripted stuff once again at moviedude18. But at the end of the day, I think we can get Robin. I think we can get Paul. But I need to confirm them now. But I can't. Paul's got a bunch of money. Robin, he does okay. But the thing is we would have, if you guys want them there, I know that they'll come on the bare necessities. But I think that they will come on not having their meals paid for and an open bar and all this other stuff. And I think I could get Sandra Hess as well.
Oh.
So that would be the case.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, that's that. And then I think we have one final clip, which is the wrapping up the
about a future return to the Mortal Kombat movie series.
And let's be honest, let's find out just how much or how badly or to what extent Robin would return. They've all
it goes into a different direction. It goes into an unexpected place. So let's show that.
Yes.
It goes into a little bit of transgender. Not really.
It does not go there. It does not
Not
go there.
transgender. I meant like morphing characters.
I'll be the elder god, man. I won the tournament. Shouldn't I be the elder god now?
Yeah.
Like Raiden. You know, Raiden would be like the higher god, but then I'm Raiden.
Yeah. So you would do a cameo.
Oh, yeah.
You would do anything. You would get out if you retired in 2 years.
Oh yeah.
They said come back. You would get back out, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
And there you have it, right there. He says, yes, absolutely. Make me Raiden. Make me Raiden. I'll wear the, that was so great. And he's like, absolutely, I'll come out of retirement. Like, he says it like, yes, I would come out of retirement to reprise that role or to get back into the movie. Like, that's awesome. Hands down.
Yeah, it shows his commitment to Mortal Kombat. Like, that supersedes his retirement and everything else. Like, yeah, for Mortal Kombat franchise, he would do it. And with that, we have one last trivia question. We have one last giveaway. Look at this. Already have it ready.
I feel like we should make it a parlay. I actually thought about this the whole time, and I want to make it a parlay. I want to end it big. For the last bit of trivia, I want to ask a double question. So you ask your question, and then if you get it right, I get to ask that specific person a second question. And
that's
if they
so
get
funny because I actually had 2 questions in mind.
Well, then we'll use a backup. Then your question will be if he fails this one, it goes back into the pot, and we ask the third question for the prize. So let's ask the first question.
Here's the deal. Here's my question, and it's a double. It's a 2-parter. All right. Liu Kang's brother. I want to know his name.
I have the second question. But yeah.
I want to know Liu Kang's brother's name. So you got to give me his name from the movie, and you got to give me his name from the game. So I want Liu Kang's brother's name in both the movie and the game because they changed it. Whoever's the first one to chime in with both, I guess we'll move on to Corey's
question.
Oh, wait, we got some coming through.
Yeah, but everyone's only got.
Oh,
Revenant Liu Kang is the guy that won, but he already won one, right? So we'll give it to Vamp Dev.
Vamp Dev gets it.
Yeah.
Okay, Vamp Dev. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready for your what's his name?
Vamp Dev.
Vamp Dev. Okay, Vamp Dev. If you're listening to me, I wanted to make one question. Tell me in the Mortal Kombat movie, the first movie, just the first one. Tell me 5 things that are in. 5 things that are in the first movie that aren't shown until the second or third game. 5 things. I'll give you one of them. Kitana. She's not in the first game. So 4 more.
All right, what he's looking for is things that are MK2 exclusive things that made their way into the first film.
Got to give him some time here because there is a little bit of lag.
Well, yeah, not only that, but you got to think, like, you don't have to necessarily say them all in one line. Like, I think you don't necessarily have to get every single one of them, but you got to get at least...
There's 4 that are really obvious.
You got to get over half, And by the way, he may think of something that you didn't think of, Corey. Is that possible?
It's possible.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's still thinking, maybe.
Are you with us, sir?
Yeah. I'm sure he's around. Or she. You never know with a name like Vamp.
You never know.
Oh, look, look how people are thinking. They're like ceiling spikes.
Here he goes, Vamp Dev. Outworld portals, reptile looking like an actual reptile, Shao Kahn, shadow priests.
I think that qualifies, man. I think that definitely qualifies.
It's totally whatever. Just give it to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vamp Dev!
Yeah.
Vamp Dev! Congratulations.
But the
You
real,
had some other ones in mind, though, didn't you?
the real answers are Johnny Cage's friendship,
Yep.
Liu Kang's bicycle kick,
Yep.
Dio Khan, Jax, and Katana.
Jackson Katana, yes. Oh, man. You know what? I like the fact that you did think of some things that maybe weren't first and foremost in movie dude 18's mind. And I'll give you another one. In the Liu Kang reptile fight sequence, that background, there's like a structure, like a window in the building. I don't know what you call it, but it was totally based on the background from Mortal Kombat 2's tower stage.
Oh,
and
yeah.
if you looked at a side-by-side of them, you'll be like, okay, that shape is so unique. That was ripped straight from the game. That is not a coincidence.
That's cool. So
Yeah, so there's a couple of other nods to MK2 that are maybe pretty subtle. But yeah, man, this is great. I am so glad. Vamp Dev, make sure that you send us a PM. Make sure you send us a whisper, I'm sorry, with your details so that we can get your signed photograph out to you.
Absolutely. Guys, this was a lot of fun. This is a lot of work. I think this is the
Did
biggest...
I break the record? This is the longest stream ever.
This is the longest stream, yeah. And honestly, this stream took like 2 straight weeks of hard work. All of us, have other projects
So many
and day jobs.
sleepless nights and sleepless days.
Oh, you're not kidding.
Countless hours.
Were you guys happy with like the interviews and like the answers you got? Or...
Look, like I said, the first thing I said when we started this stream was that it was a huge success, the interviews that you guys did, and I mean that sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, and from the top of my heart, and from every part of my heart. Not just the bottom, the whole thing. It really was well done. I'm very happy with everything that you guys did. I'm very happy with the answers that the development team gave. So, Movie Dude, I really want to thank you for helping line this up for us. Your connections to the MK actors and your name dropping us and the invitation from Chris Casamassa and extending it to us through you, that really means a lot. And I thank all the actors for their time.
Yes.
And I know that what they initially offered us was like a guest appearance on our stream. Like, yeah, we'll go on the MK Online stream. And then the stream part didn't work out through no fault of their own. I don't blame them at all because the venue that we were at just happened to be in a dead zone. And what they gave us was gold. Like, whether it was on a stream or whether it was something that had to be put on a delay, makes no difference. It was top-notch stuff, and I loved every minute of this.
This was a lot of fun to do, man. And it was a lot of fun to get to talk to some of the actors and just get to know them as people, and it was great. I mean, we just had the time of our life, but this stream was the biggest one we've ever done and probably will do for a while anyway. But it was really cool that I talked to Chris and Keith, and both of them expressed interest in maybe in the future coming on via Skype. So, there's that possibility.
We could have a real sit down. We could have a live chat.
Yes.
As people are thinking of questions on the fly, they can submit them. It'll be just fantastic.
Yeah.
And guys, the whole interviews, the entire things. Obviously, this stream was really long as it was, so we couldn't show you the whole thing tonight. But we will be making that available just as soon as we can.
There's a lot more.
Yeah, there's a lot more, especially with Robin and Linden. Larry, there's just I mean, guys, I'm just I like I said, I wanted Ryan to have a little moment there, but like the thing is I love these things. Mortal Kombat was all I bled, growing up as a teenager.
Yeah.
And I have to say, like, it's also nice because I stay away from streams. I stay away from, with my events and my Movie Dude series out here in California, I don't blog. I'm not a YouTuber, but I always find that it's filled with a little bit of hate and malice and fighting and bickering. And these two guys I'm looking at on my computer screen are great lads. And you guys seem like you're great fans to go along with. So it's all around. This was I couldn't have spent my Thursday better. So
yeah, I agree, man. And when you come to Combat Con, because we're going to get you here. When you come here, all 3 of us are having a beer. And we're going to have a good time.
yeah, it's got to be an IPA, though.
Absolutely. IPAs all around.
And look, just like a PG-13 movie, I perfectly utilized my one F-bomb.
Your one F-bomb. You got one and you used it so
I got
well.
one. I used it so well. It caught everyone off guard. But
not see it coming.
yeah, you didn't see it. But yeah, all right, guys. Well, once again, type it in there, Justin. My Facebook.com, Corey S. Davis. Facebook.com/Corey S. Davis. Korys Davis.
Don't mean to be pedantic here.
I don't know.
Pedantic. What's with these big words?
I can spell onomatopoeia. ONOMATOPOEIA.
So we've got two highly intelligent guys, and I'm just the dumb one. So that's cool.
Yeah, Ryan, you're just yeah.
I'm just that guy you locked away in your basement.
My favorite moment of the message boards was I bet Ryan just wants to get up and go smoke right now.
I only smoked 2 cigarettes this entire stream. That's kind of a record for me lately.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, people in the chat were commenting.
Oh,
on
by the way, I wanna point out something about Christopher Lambert really quick while you guys are, if they're still in the chat room.
Yeah. Christopher Lambert.
Lambert, as Paul says. The thing is, guys, he is legally blind now, and he lives in France. Yeah. He lives in France, so I can tell you right now, you can rule out pretty much anything with him.
Well, hang on. Total MK got a great interview with him not too long ago.
Yes, I forgot about that.
I'm saying in terms of coming to Combat Con.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, that would be difficult.
Made it to Australia, though, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And when can they expect the Q&As to be up?
It's a time-consuming process. I'm going to work to get it done within a week. So, like they say in the ring, 7 days.
You have 7 days.
That's the Scary Movie voice, but yeah, I'll take it.
I'll even take it further to Scary Movie 2, where it's like, in gay, who's gay?
Do you like scary movies?
What's your favorite
Cindy, the TV is leaking. All right, guys. All right.
Guys, this was a blast. We'll get everything up as soon as we can. Like I said, it takes time, these websites and the connections, and they're huge. It's just a huge amount of data to transfer. But we'll get it up as soon as we can. And in the meantime, thank you for joining us. Fatal K, do you want to take it away? Our closing remarks?
Closing remarks is this was a lot of fun. This was very much by the seat of our pants. I knew literally 5 days before I was in LA that I was going to LA. I want to give a special shout out to my boss, Eric Milan. Because he allowed me to have the extra day to make this happen. So definitely got to give props where it's due. He took care of me there. And definitely want to give a lot of shout out to Corey for letting me stay with him. And, of course, to my family who's always told me, just go do it, ride the wave, make it happen. Back in small town Ohio, they're awesome. Want to definitely shout out the most important people here, which is the viewers. You guys are great, and that's why we do what we do. This stream was by far the biggest, most ambitious stream we've ever done. It was very much by the seat of our pants. Things happened at the event that we did not foresee happening on so many different levels. But Corey and I literally went to war getting these interviews. Corey's off getting Linden, Robin. I'm getting Keith and Chris at the same time. And we made this all work out so well with having no real internet and anything going on.
We didn't even have cell service.
Yeah, we had no cell service. We were talking to Tabmock on the phone, and we literally had to walk outside because the phone kept dropping. It was that crazy. But we still went in there. We got these fantastic interviews, and it was gold. It was one of those things that happens quick. You may never happen again, and you have to go and you have to do it. So I'm just glad that I got to go to war with someone like Corey because we made this thing really, I think, sing. And
huge success, guys.
It was great success. And so I'm glad we got these things autographed. Larry Kasanoff was there. He signed these. Like, that's super rare. Like, it was great. It was a lot of fun.
God, yeah. Well, I need to shower. Yes. I need to shower after that. That was good though.
Absolutely, this was phenomenal.
That was good.
And a lot of people probably feel like they need to shower after watching Food Fight.
Yes, and I should also give. I mean, Ryan, I've already given a shout out, but obviously to Justin, he's a good friend to talk to. He's a good comrade.
Yes.
If I'm in a sticky situation, he's someone that I can talk to, and he knows his Mortal Kombat stuff. And I can tell you what, sometimes I have these LA days where I'm busy and things are crazy and I'm hectic, or I'm sad, or I'm happy, or whatever it is, and I can just listen to him talk about Mortal Kombat and how Rico is Shou Kahn incarnate, and somehow it makes me happy. So it's fun. So you're a good guy, dude.
Yeah, Justin.
Hey, thanks a lot. You are too, and I really appreciate you joining us on this stream. I thought this was absolutely a terrific evening. I thought you guys did such a good job at the event. So happy we could share it with everybody. And guys in the stream, thank you for joining us. Until next time, this is Tabmock99. Thank you for joining me, Movie Dude and Fatalcade. We will see you on the next stream.
We will see you on the next stream. And just a little hint drop about what the next stream is going to contain, if I may. I think we're going to have Total MK show us some pretty cool stuff that he's been working on. So we'll keep.
And I think that will be a total blast.
It will be a total.
See, I was waiting for the bad pun, and you came so far, and then you just.
I killed it.
You just failed. You killed it.
It's whatever. It's whatever. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So make sure you catch the next one, because there's some really cool stuff that Total MK has to show everybody, and we're excited to show that off to you guys. But until then, we'll see you guys later. Take care. It's been fun.
Bye, guys.
Congrats
Love
to the
you.
winners. We'll see you for the next one.